Well, a solid performance from Seattle Thunderbirds star forward Ryan Gropp, who had 2 goals in Game 4, 3 so far in the series after leading the way for the team in the regular season with 34. And Alexander True right now is a hot hand for the Thunderbirds. 3 goals in the last 2 games, 2 on Wednesday night, including the game winner, tied with Donovan Niles and Gropp for the series lead with 3 goals so far. And Ivan Provorov, he's faced Seattle's best throughout this series, looking to bounce back after a long night on Wednesday. But once again, he and the Wheat Kings trying to become champs tonight here in Kent on Shaw.
For the 4th straight game, the Thunderbirds had the lead over the Wheat Kings. But instead of a familiar, heartbreaking script playing out, Seattle kept on scoring. In front of a charged home crowd, the Thunderbirds looked to close in on the Wheat Kings in the series. For Brandon, one chance got away from championship glory. They aimed to not let a second opportunity slip from their grasp. On the line, a trip to Brandon or a ticket to Red Deer. It's Game 5, next on Shaw.
Well, here in Kent, Washington, there were tailgate parties outside ShoWare Center. This is the last chance for Thunderbirds fans to see their team, hoping that they get a trip to Brandon tomorrow for Game 6 on Sunday. Good evening and welcome to Levin Machinery, WHL on Shaw, and Bobdale Gloves, WHL Central. I'm Andy Neal. Hello again to those of you watching south of the border tonight on Root Sports. Well, it's take 2 for the Brandon Wheat Kings as they try to lay claim to a WHL championship for the first time since 1996. And after winning the first 3 games of this series, all in overtime, Brandon was dominated from start to finish in Game 4 on Wednesday in a 6-1 loss to the hometown Thunderbirds. But Brandon is still in the driver's seat in this best-of-7 affair, leading 3 games to 1 and can punch their ticket to Red Deer in the MasterCard Memorial Cup with a win tonight. Now, as for Seattle, that win on Wednesday was the first ever in franchise history in a championship series game, and this is their last home game of the season. They've been terrific throughout the year here at the ShoWare Center, and tonight another win gives them another game, which would be Sunday in a Game 6 in Brandon. So for their thoughts on tonight's Game 5, upstairs we go to the men calling it. Peter Labardius alongside Bill Wilms. Gentlemen.
Andy, thank you very kindly as always. Bill, a different spot for us in a different script in game number 4 that has kept the Thunderbirds' hopes alive. They win it 6-1, and I thought one of the real keys is the fact that they received contributions from a lot of different people in their lineup.
Well, they did. But they got one of their key guys to open the scoring in period number 1. This is Ryan Gropp. They establish the offensive zone. He takes a great feed, makes it 1-0, second even strength goal of the series. And then it was a Kevin Leth, Alexander True show. They make it 2-0 on a 2-on-1. Again, a 2-on-1, and this time Alexander True in the paint makes it 3-0. And then in period number 3, 4-0, Ryan Gropp. A terrific individual effort. Nice release. And Kelly McCrimmon says, really? Is it 6-1? Is that what really happened? It did.
Ethan Bear, outstanding all playoff long. 3 points in game number 4. He's riding an 8-game point scoring streak. We've talked so much about Provorov and Urkamps, and I think rightly so. But this young man has not taken a back seat in these playoffs.
You're absolutely right, Peter. He was a leading scorer in the first 3 series for Seattle. He's a leading scorer right now. His work in his own zone defensively one-on-one has been great. And you get to the offensive zone, the reason he's able to do these things, walk the line, open shooting lanes, passing lanes, is because the Seattle team did such a good job forechecking. And I love the way he controls the pace of play. He finds guys exceptionally well, and man, oh man, can he shoot the puck. You know, he's been great. I think he has been the best defenseman.
Well, the Brandon Wheat Kings with another opportunity to capture the Ed Chenoweth Cup in their 3rd ever Western Hockey League title. To a man, starting with the boss, head coach, owner, GM Kelly McCrimmon. They did not like their overall effort, and I've been around, you've been around junior hockey for a long time. When young people get frustrated and things don't go their way, well, they might want to show the opposition that, listen, we didn't like it, but we know what happened.
Yeah, he started not playing really nice. Skilled players, Peter, that have a lot of fun when the game is on the line, sometimes, honestly, they just lose interest. And that's exactly what happened. It takes two teams out there, no question about that. And by the way, the Jace Harlick play right here, that went to league review with the meeting with the officials. It won't be tolerated, but they have to play a much smarter game tonight, especially when the game is on the line.
If you are to review Brandon's history during this postseason, it will tell you that when they've had some tough losses, my goodness, if they ever come back with authority, and that's pretty well illustrated right there.
Yeah, the move from glory to gory is one letter, that's L, and that stands for a loss. Against Moose Jaw, Game 4, they came back after that 7-1 loss. The defense starts the offense. They establish the zone. They get a 6-2 win. Now, you go to the 6-2 loss at Red Deer in Game 3. Game 4 again. What happens, Peter? They start at the blue line. They forwards again in the offensive zone. They get to create. This is what's important for this team. And they come away with a 4-2 win. But, if they're going to come off this another 6-1 loss the other night, and they do that again tonight, they'll go out of here as Western Hockey League champions.
We know that this is the final game in Kent, Washington. The question tonight, Andy, is, are we going back to Brandon?
Well, Seattle hopes so, Peter. Brandon would love to have Sunday off. The Rouyn-Noranda Huskies are awaiting the winner of this series on the first Saturday of the MasterCard Memorial Cup in Red Deer to see who they face on that night. Brandon could guarantee that tonight. Seattle trying to give the Wheat Kings another home date on Sunday. Beautiful Pacific Northwest. It's Game 5 here on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
Lottery in support of the Red Deer Hospital is bigger and better, with 465 prizes valued at over $1 million. Early bird prizes include a 2016 Harley-Davidson Road King, plus $50,000 cash. And new this year, 31 days of critical cash withdrawals for $500 made every day in June, ending with a draw for $5,000. Get your early bird tickets by May 15th. Call now or visit hospitalslottery.com.
Hi folks, it's me, Don Taylor, way up here with my friend Murph. At Levitt Machinery, they sell, lease, rent, and service all these machines, and they offer certified training. Need a lift? Stack it, reach it, lift it. Levitt.
And now, introduction remove your hats, and join the Thunderbirds as we honor the United States, Canada, and our militaries here and overseas with a presentation of our national anthems. Please sing along as Paul.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Will tonight be the final night of the 50th anniversary season of the Western Hockey League? Seattle hopes not. Brandon hopes so. Nobody closer than our Stu Walters when the action begins.
Thank you very much, Peter. Kelly McCrimmon and the Wheat Kings well aware of the importance of trying to clear out the series tonight, not allowing that door of hope to open up any wider for Seattle, trying to force a Game 6 and swing momentum. The Wheat Kings acknowledge they did not match the Thunderbirds' intensity and desperation in Game 4, allowing the home team to basically dictate play from start to finish. However, the visitors, they have vowed to bring their A game tonight, Peter, in hopes of winning the franchise's third WHL championship.
Thank you, Stu. No change. The masked men remain the same. Jordan Paperny's goals against average in this series is .281 for St. Albert product. Landon Bowe, his goals against average is 2.34. We are set for game number 5. The Wheat Kings with a 3-1 series lead. Seattle forced tonight with an impressive 6-1 triumph 2 nights ago. And the Barzell line begins against the Magali line for Brandon Provorov to John Quenneville, who scored 2 big goals in game number 3.
Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw is brought to you by Levitt Machinery, online at levittmachinery.com.
Kelly McCrimmon's team had closed out the series on their first opportunity to do so 14 times in a row until Wednesday. It started way back in 2005. They're going to try to do it on their second opportunity here tonight. By the way, if they do, they will have won the Western title, Peter, on U.S. soil both times at Portland and at Spokane so far.
Have never won it at home. They have no concerns about bringing the series back to Manitoba. They want to continue that trend. Once again, is Landon Bowe with the game's first test, and words exchanged between both sides just 33 seconds in.
Well, the T-Birds got to a point in Game 4 where his team reached a comfort level with their game. They played in a much more relaxed, a fun way. Maybe a bit of surprise, Peter. It happened in a season-ending elimination game, but he'll take that again tonight.
Answer versus Patrick. Konowalchuk, of course, with the last change is Bear to his partner Turner Otbright. Nolan Patrick in hot pursuit, scored in the first 2 games of the series in Brandon. Play go backhanded deep. Bear pursued by Jace Howerluck, loses the handle, but regains it quickly. Swept by Volk, and he hit Niles with it, who's upended, and the Wheat Kings now collected deep in their own territory. Mitch Wheaton, the former Kelowna Rocket, Saskatoon Blade, who's really helped to anchor this defense. Play. His wrist shot off the stick and goes high and well out of play.
Well, let's take a look inside the series. This is Game 5, and what you've got is the wins and the losses. Look at the bottom right. 6 for 21 power plays for Seattle and 2 for 17. That's certainly a difference. Look at the shots. Brandon outshoots everybody. And at this point right now, the Seattle Thunderbirds have outscored the Brandon Wheat Kings 12-10 in the 4 games played so far.
Alexander True to take the draw against Tanner Kaspick, a pair of 16s. True has scored 3 goals in the last 2 games. The product of Copenhagen, Denmark. Jared Smith, the captain, hoping this is not his last ever junior hockey game. Provorov, a good outlet. Mateos just out of the reach of Kaspik, and the 16-year-old from Winnipeg shoots it in deep. Brandon Schulthouse. Up the left wing for Nick Holoko. He is bowled over. And now Schulthouse carries to center and backhands it in. Schulthouse, born in Houston, played his minor hockey primarily in Airdrie before the last couple of years at Shattuck St. Mary's. Ty Lewis cleared in by Kaspik. Gutenberg in hot pursuit. Lewis is upended. And the puck is cleared to the line and held in by James Sheary, but it's banked off Josh Urich. Tishka to Josh Urich. He makes his way to center, takes a jolt, and sends it behind the net. Intercepted. Volkin with a game's best chance as he nearly sent a turnover in the back of the net. Hoffman drive, and Volkin tipped that too, and Paperny gets a piece. Another shot from the left wing boards, this one by Niles. And 2 early tests for Jordan Paperny. Quenneville pestered by Niles, who has 3 goals in the series. Enter now! That's kicked away by Paperny again, as this hard-working trio applies pressure. Smith, a weak shot, and the puck cleared out to the neutral zone. Wheaton finds Tim McGauley. McGauley, good entry. Duke in front. Quenneville, he scores! John Quenneville, his 16th in the playoffs, and Brandon strikes first.
That's the danger of this Brandon Wheat King team. They just gave up 3 shots in their own end. And I'll tell you, Paperny was terrific on 2 of the 3. And Steve Konowalchuk knows that when this team can come up the ice, you got a guy banging his stick, give me the puck, give me the puck. And all you have to do is advance it about 10 feet. And then when you get it from that zone all the way to there, you stretch it east-west. You've captured Bo's attention there. Now you make the pass, and John Quenneville, who else? He's been Mr. Johnny on the spot. Clearly Mr. Clutch on that hockey team. Big opening goal for the Wheat Kings.
16 leads all playoff participants in goals, and Howerluck once more and nearly found the far side. Quenneville with his 3rd of the series. He scored twice in a 3-2 overtime triumph here in Game 3. Now the response from the home side is Brandon pressing. They want more. Bear versus Patrick. Patrick protects it. Cycles it down low for Tyler Coulter. Now it's Howerluck in possession. He's tripped up by Bear. There'll be a penalty, and Bear and the Thunderbirds find themselves shorthanded.
Yeah, Ethan Bear just loses position on his man, and sometimes when that happens, you just reach out with a stick. He wanted to go to the wall. He wanted to go to pin his man. You see how he got there too late after the stick infraction, and Brandon goes right on the power play. Again, watch the touch pass here. It goes from McGauley to Duke, and then when you get that cross-ice pass there, Landon Bow, I don't care how good a goaltender he is, especially when Quenneville, a left-hand shot, comes in to receive that pass the way he did there. He didn't have to handle it at all. He just had to release it.
Kelly McCrimmon, an excellent start, and a pair of penalties. Turner Ottenbright joins Bear in the penalty box. A 5-on-3 for the Wheat Kings, who have found the net quickly. Smith strips his man on the boards and clears it to center. Early on, but my goodness, Bill, a large stretch in this game the next 2 minutes. Brandon 2 for 17 in the series on the power play. They did score their lone goal in the loss on the power play here on Wednesday. It's Provorov, looks at Quenneville. He'll drive it off of big Jared Hoff and goes to the open wing. Duke collects it. Urkamps tipped in front. Big save. Another one. Both off McGauley. Urkamps. The return for Duke. Down low. Tries to go top shelf. and Bow with another quality stop. Hoff protects it against the end boards before it squirts free to Quenneville. Provorov now, top of the circle, down low for Reed Duke. Looks back at Provorov. Still with it. Urkamps. Provorov. Slap shot. Good kick save again by Bow. 40 to go in the two-man advantage. Quenneville a blast. Duke has the rebound, jump off the stick, but Smith unable to clear. Urkamps, top of the circle, and it's Reed Duke. Provorov, another stop, and swept out on their feet here in Kent, Washington. But still 18 seconds of work left to be done. Quenneville can't handle it cleanly, but comes back to the blue line. Quenneville, superb save by Bow. What a shooting gallery this power play has been. Patrick, penalties have expired. And Kolizar will clear it down the ice and take a listen.
Absolutely spectacular. Big loss to graduation last season was team MVP goalie Taran Kozin. What a job Russ Farwell did in mid-season, recognizing that and acquiring this goaltender, Landon Bow. Couldn't have been better in that two power play advantage for this Brandon Weeking. And Peter, have you ever seen a team more desperate in trying to get that second goal than this Brandon team in this sequence here? They kept it in as much as they could. They fired pucks from everywhere. The urgency was there. Landon Bow still hasn't got off one knee. Look at him. He's bagged. He did everything he could.
And thus, the head coach, Steve Konowalchuk, calls a very early timeout. And I truly believe this is about giving his goaltender a bit of a breather. He was sensational during that stretch.
Boy, that sometimes isn't the hardest shot, but it's the one that comes from a certain spot that you got to get that pad out. Man, oh man, what a month of March. Last month of the season, he went 11-0, and he's carried it right into the playoffs.
Timeout comes to a conclusion. 9 shots already, as you just witnessed. A lot of the very difficult variety. Ryan Groff, who had 2 key goals in game number 4, stopped at the line. Kolizar carries on, but runs into Cale Clegg, the highly touted 17-year-old who will have his name called, and maybe as early as round 1 in Buffalo at the upcoming draft. Stolen by Coulter, but he fans on a pass attempt. And Head Howerluck in the high slot area. John Quenneville, 16th of the playoffs, 3-15, has the 3-1 leaders of this series in front by a goal.
Wow. Yeah, who do you want to talk about? There's nobody else actually to talk about except Landon Bow, but it's important right now for Seattle, including Ethan Bear, the quarterback back there on the offense coming out of his own zone. This is important to have Ethan Bear out there right now. Seattle cannot be hemmed in. This Brandon Weeking team wants to continue to push. Sure, they missed a 5-on-3 opportunity, but they know this face-off even here in the offensive zone could be important.
Duncan Campbell with Kaspick and Mateos. Kaspick, the game 1 overtime hero. He's just 17 in hockey terms. Provorov shooting lane and turned aside again by Bow. Otbright up the boards to Kolizar, who drops it off Barzell, and now joining the attack is Bear into the zone of the Wheat Kings, but the Thunderbirds change and Bear shovels it behind the net. Quite a beginning to game number 5. Turned over at the line with a pass and through in behind the speedy Calvin Lepp, who was, for my money, as good as anyone in game number 4 in the Seattle Triumph.
Look at the goaltenders in this series. We just saw a spectacular display by Landon Bow. He's got only the 1 win, but he's got a .932 save percentage. Look at Paperny at the other end. And, you know, coming off that game Wednesday night, the 5 R's of goaltending, Peter: release, Get mad, no problem. Reflect what happened. Relax, regroup, and refocus. That's a job right now for Jordan Paperny coming off that game where he gave up 6.
Well, off the top of the show, we talked about the Brandon bounce back as McGauley nearly banked it in off Landon Bowe, and Volkan, who's had great jump in his step early in this one. Back on the ice with Niles and Enser. They created a lot of havoc before that early Brandon goal. Enser with all kinds of traffic in front, but the puck goes off his skate and makes its way to the corner. Enser with a pair of assists in Wednesday's victory. And his motor just never stops. What a treat number 8 of the Thunderbirds has been to watch. From Englewood, Colorado, Reed Duke, who has an assist already in this game, his long wrist shot, and that's handled well by Landon Bowe.
Well, to your point, Peter, you know Scott Enser. This dog will hunt, believe me. And you go back to the Enser, Niles, Vulcan line last season, they really got their initiation playing that shutdown role in that series against Portland in round 1. They played a shutdown role against the guys on lines named Bjorkstrand, Patan, Bittner, and that carried right over into the playoffs this year, and the job they've done to get this team to where it is right now.
Enser helped the United States to a bronze medal of the World Junior Hockey Championship in Finland. Scored 1 goal in the event. Schumacher, Josh Urich scores! Josh Urich second to the playoffs, and we're tied.
This is just plain theft. There's no other way to describe this. Jordan Thompson is going to get his pocket pick right there. He's ready to come up the other way up the boards. Schumacher does a super job of getting the puck. Have a look here. And boy, there's that cross-ice pass to Urich, and it's in the back of the net. Now, how big was that 5-on-3 penalty kill? Instead of the Wheat Kings been up 2-0, we got a 1-1 game here with still 11:16 left in the first period.
Josh Urich from Rosetown, Saskatchewan, his first goal since Game 4 of the Everett Series, has evened this affair at 1 game apiece. We mentioned some of the unlikely offensive heroes in game number 4. We'll add Josh Urich to the list in game 5. And Schumacher with his first point of this championship series. Poulter loses it to Barzell. Nice recovery as far as the line, and Barrett gloves it down to the dangerous Barzell in behind drop. Provorov turning away from the first-round pick of the New York Islanders. Great a pass up the ice from Provorov. Hoff loses that board battle to a much smaller Hauerluck, who tries to jam it in on the short side. Wrist shot, and a good one. Off the stick of Tanner Kaspik, held by Bowe.
Well, when you get the Hauerluck, Patrick Coulter line to come into the offensive zone, as you just saw there, and only get the one chance. You know they're going to be around the puck. They're going to be chasing it. They're going to try to get, attack the net. They're a tremendously skilled team, Brandon is, at going to the net. And you only give them the one chance, the one shot. Bowe makes a save, gets a face-off to his left. Important now for, Brandon to maintain control in that offensive zone. They can do that by winning this face-off.
Landon Bowe already with 12 saves, and the majority during a full 2-minute, two-man advantage as the Wheat Kings did everything but make it 2-0. And then Josh Urich has replied to tie the game for the Thunderbirds.
And you tell me the last time, Peter, you saw Landon Bowe make an out-of-position save where he's scrambling, where he's got to rely on athleticism. He didn't have to. He doesn't have to. He plays his body position so well. He's in such firm, solid spot that sometimes as a forward, you're around him. You're opposing forward. You see nothing but a blur. He's at the top of the paint. You see no net.
Chatted with Seattle's goaltending coach, Ian Gordon, today, and he just raved about his demeanor and how this young man has just worked so diligently to play the best hockey he's ever played. And it has truly been on display here in period number 1. Water bottle off the top of the net. Play stays alive for Kaspic. Watch closely. Gets to the inside of Schulthouse. Tries to jam it. And Bo would have none of it as Schulthouse with a headlock on Kaspic. Just another ordinary beginning. Quenneville, Urich, we're tied at 1.
Welcome to Select Fluid Power, home of our brand new state-of-the-art cylinder repair and hard chrome plating facility. With a fully equipped hydraulic cylinder repair shop, Select Fluid Power is your one-stop cylinder repair shop. Open 7 days a week, serving Western Canada.
Distance gained. No walls to separate us and our home. Drawn deeper by the presence of no one and the essence of everything. Mother Nature's timeless masterpieces, stretching past the sky and the edge of the world, calling us to explore supernatural British Columbia.
The Mercedes-Benz AMG GT. Available at Lone Star Mercedes-Benz. Current offers at LoneStarInsider.ca.
With Thunderbirds head coach Steve Konowalchuk. And Steve, a little bit of adversity to start, goal against, the 5-on-3 PK. How pleased with your team's response?
Well, real big kill, big save by Bozy, and then to come out and get a goal to get back in it there 1-1 instead of being down 2-0, huge kill.
And how important just the steady play of Landon Bowen is that why you called the timeout there, let him have a little rest? Or?
Well, we had 3D. We had 3D stuck out there. I didn't want to go through the whole kill there and do a good job killing and then have the wrong guys out. Make sure we get through that.
Thanks, Steve.
You bet.
Guys.
Well, that 5-on-3, guys, that was urgency meeting focus. The urgency from the Brandon Weekings. Boy, I'll tell you, that was a determined group of 5 guys out there. The way they moved the puck, the way they got it around, you could just feel it. They had one thing in mind, and that was to beat that guy. But the focus of Landon Bow was unbelievable. Never lost sight of puck, never had to resort to a spectacular save. Absolutely solid, and what a 5-on-3. Boy, that's something that I will remember a long time in this game here in Seattle tonight.
You are not alone. They talk in this sport about your goaltender being your best penalty killer. Never has there been a truer definition of that. Quenneville, who opened the scoring to Urkamps, who keeps it in at the right point. Swings it behind the net. Provorov will jump up from his defensive position. Fantastic pass by Magali, but Duke didn't get all of it. Wheat Kings looking to restore the lead. Magali with a great tip. And Bo handles it on the short side.
Magali's been great on the power play. He's got 8 points, but 5-on-5. This line of Magali tonight and Duke and Quenneville's been great. They've been a handful inside that offensive zone. And you know, when you're challenged, as Seattle is there, you just have to make sure that you don't become passive. You can't become puck focused. You have to have your head on a swivel. You have to know where everybody is. You have to engage and make sure that nobody's open, because no team gets forwards open for quick one-timers better than the Brandon Wheat Kings.
20-year-old from Wilcox, a prospect of the Washington Capitals, and he's had a dynamite postseason with 24 points as Tim Magali. Long lead pass, and this will send us right back from where the pass originated as Steve Konowalchuk going up and down his bench, encouraging his group, a group that trails this best-of-7 affair 3-1.
Well, whatever happens tonight, this is a T-Birds last game in this building. We know that. What a season it's been here. Tonight, going into tonight to 36-7, they've literally been an 18-wheeler going downhill. They've definitely been unstoppable in this building.
Urkamps reads it well. The Wheat Kings, as we expected, an excellent response here in the opening period. Hauerla trying to move away from Matthew Barzal. Patrick involved in front with Ethan Bear, and the trailing referee is going to call the 17-year-old sensation Nolan Patrick for a penalty.
Chase Harlick had the puck on his stick probably 20 seconds of that whole shift. He knew how to carry that puck and get it away from traffic. He was in a position around the net. Nothing was going to happen. He ended up going way to the top of the blue line area. Watch the front of the net. There's the slash. Patrick's in position. He wants to get a little bit more time on the forecheck to get in on it. Unfortunately, the slash puts him in the box for 2 minutes.
Nolan Patrick, whose father Steve, part of the first ever Brandon Wheat Kings championship team back in 1979. And then Steve went on to an NHL career as Paperny tested right off the face-off. Pulizar to Groff. Seattle was 2 for 7 on the power play in the win on Wednesday. Jared Smith, too hot to handle for Ethan Bear, but Pulizar keeps it alive. The Columbus third-rounder dumped behind the net. Groff, Bear, Paperny in good position. Ethan Bear, the quarterback. Groff, rink wide. Smith in front. Barzal fails to redirect it in front. Delivered well by Jared Smith and now cleared by Mitch Wheat. Bear starts the power play breakout. Answer comes out along with Nolan Volkin. Otbright fans on a pass and back short-handed comes Kaspick. He might have a step. Pretty good recovery by Otbright. Kaspick stays right with it. Turned 18 in January, the Brandon product. And he's bumped off the puck by Nolan Volkin. Bear nearly lost the handle against the dangerous Reed Duke, who's had a very good playoff and an excellent series. Duke, a 6th-round pick of the Minnesota Wild. There's 30 seconds left now in this man advantage. Here's Enser. Enser enters the zone, pressured by Magali. And now Urkamps. Backhand pass hits Magali, and that'll allow Urkamps the ability to move to center and flip it down the ice. Brandon will be very happy with this penalty kill. One last rush, not a lot of time left in it. It's Smith. End-to-end, lets it go, and a save by Paperny. And pushing and shoving after the stoppage.
Well, obviously, Peter, if you're a defenseman at the best of times, if you pinch and you go down low, you want to make sure that you get involved in the play, and that's exactly what Smith does on that situation. Gets it across to Barzal. Unfortunately for Seattle, Barzal couldn't quite handle the puck and had a pretty good scoring chance. 14-7 now, shots on goal for Brandon.
Barzal back out. You see the 5 assists in the series. He has those in a 3-game point scoring streak. His last goal came in Game 3 in the Western Conference Championship set versus Kelowna. And he had the best opportunity, as we just showed you, of the Seattle power play. Rink wide towards Hauerluck. Hauerluck from the sharp angle. Tesbo and Hoff in a tough situation up edge. Patrick, and Hoff's going to make his way now to the penalty box. And the Wheat Kings, for the 3rd time in the game, will enjoy the power play.
That's a big group of defense. When you take a look at the guys back on defense for Seattle, if they get out of position and they resort to the trips and the hooks, we saw one earlier, this, just the kind of penalty you don't have to take. It's everybody in perfect position. Could have been a couple on this. Off to the ice. Wow, an opportunity again. This power play for Brandon. So dangerous. And it starts with that guy right there, number 8 on the forecheck. One thing about Harlick, when he goes in on a forecheck, Pete, one thing he'll always do is he'll make defense hurry the play.
Well, the Wheat Kings did everything in a 2-minute, 2-man advantage one score. Seattle, the best penalty-killing team in the regular season. Provorov Urkamps, he scores! McCoy Urkamps and the Wheat Kings on the power play have regained a 1-goal advantage.
You know, it's almost like this play is absolutely a set play. The entry is terrific. Urkamps, number 20, knows that puck's going to come to him. Watch, he's at the top of the screen, far left side. Now, when that stick goes up, on the far right there, look at it, that stick's up, give it to me. And again, the shot on the net comes with 3 Brandon Wheat Kings in the area. Here comes a pass, there's a shot, 1, 2, 3 guys right around the net. If there is any kind of a rebound, there's somebody there that's going to pick it off. Urkamp shot, finds the back of the net. No deflection, I don't think. No rebound needed. It's 2-1 Brandon.
The captain of the Wheat Kings on the power play restores a 1-goal lead for the team, 1 win away from winning the Western Hockey League title. Provorov and Howrluck should draw the assists on that power play goal. Holoko trying to chip it by James Shearer, who pinches on him. And Alexander True shovels the puck out of his own zone. Jordan Thompson, under a little duress, uses the boards to clear the zone. Schulthaus, as far as the line, it just makes its way out as Duncan Campbell carries it back in.
Well, Peter, to me, this series so far has been a north-south series. There hasn't been an awful lot of neutral ice play. There hasn't been a lot of traffic jams along the boards or in the neutral ice area. But, you know, as I've said a couple times already in this series, it's a team that can establish that offensive zone. That's going to be the team that's most successful. Right now, the shots are 16-7 for Brandon. There's still 5 minutes left in this first period, and they lead 2-1.
Quenneville 16th, Urkamps with his 4th. Josh Urich has his 2nd for the Thunderbirds. Now, we have a lot of viewers that enjoy their advanced stats. And if you enjoy advanced stats, here's a look at the Fenwick close numbers. And those numbers reflect the entire playoffs to this point in time. Magali back to the right point. Urkamps and now Provorov. Provorov shot blocked up by Smith. Cleared to the line. And Provorov just able to keep it in. As they'll wave it off this time. And the Thunderbirds, make wholesale changes. Just over 4 to go in this first period. Magali will win a race, twist, turn, wait for reinforcements. And now fires it behind the net where Bear cuts off the cycle. Donovan Niles chips it, but it's knocked out of midair by Wheaton. And back come the Wheat Kings. Colter. Patrick towards Jace Howrluck. Howrluck avoids the hit of Enser. Wrist shot kicked out by Bow into the corner. And now Enser an outlet, but it's out of the reach of Volkin as the Wheat Kings continue to press in this opening frame. 16-7 edge and shots on goal as Volkin will tap it off the boards and give chase against Cale Clegg. Patrick just offside at the line. Howrluck didn't like it, but the linesman right on top of it.
We're almost done one period here, and Nolan Patrick doesn't have any points. He hasn't got a point, number 19, in the 2 games played in this building here so far. But you know what? Seattle's done a nice job of containing him. He's taken shots that really haven't been grade A looks. Kelly McCrimmon, him having a quick talk about it, trying to see, you know, what has to be done. Hey, listen, that guy's obviously a spectacular player, and we'll say it again, probably the first overall pick in next year's draft. But Peter, you know, he hasn't got a point here so far. 3 periods. 6 periods and almost 1 here. I think they're going to have him, even Ivan Provorov, who hasn't scored in 8 games. They've got to get them a little bit more active.
Provorov does have an assist on the go-ahead goal by Urkamps. Patrick tied for the playoff lead overall in scoring with 27 points. John Quenneville with his 27th point, courtesy of his 16th goal to the front of the net. goes Josh Urich, who has the lone goal. It's Barzal on the ice. Little double duty. We've seen a lot of that in the series with Schumacher and Urich. Play opens up. Barzal tries to dance by the defender, and he's unable to do that against Mitch Wheaton. 3-on-2 as Brandon attacks the line. Quenneville tries it from a sharp angle, stopped by Bo, then tees it up, and Urkamp fans. However, Magali is there to take care of it. Urkamp's now Provorov looks for a shooting lane, finds his partner. Urkamp's back to Provorov again. His shot does make its way through, and Bo goes down to make sure he does not allow a rebound.
We talk a lot about walking the line as a defenseman. This is him walking the line backwards. He's going to his left. A lot of guys want to go to his right. And the thing about him, that he does find lanes to get that puck into. Again, there's the shot. Not enough traffic in front. And again, Bo makes the save simply because he has a good look at where it was coming from.
Ivan Provorov, the 7th overall pick in last June's National Hockey League entry draft. Coulter Patrick from close range, and Bo stopped him as Patrick looks for his 13th of the postseason. Has the puck now. Nolan Patrick on the cycle off the dasher. Kicked by Otbright into the corner as Hawryluk uses his body well to fend off Drew. Hawryluk is so good at using his body to protect pucks. And now there's going to be another penalty, a holding the stick call.
Might be Hawryluk.
It is.
Peter, if you watch his right hand, his right arm, he's going to reach around and make a grabbing motion. Again, to your point, he's always in on the forecheck. And, the forecheck today in hockey isn't about winning races as much as it is about leverage. And to your point, there's probably nobody uses that leverage much better than Jace Hawryluk.
Well, right now, with 1:49 to go, he's in the box, and right off the faceoff, Paperny again forced to make a save as Barzal breaks his stick, and now he's able to collect the new one.
Paperny building on a franchise record 49th playoff start here tonight. And from his Wheat Kings standpoint, the Wheat Kings fans, they got to be hoping right now with 1:45 left on a power play for the Seattle Thunderbirds. They get out of this period with a 2-1 lead.
Paperny turned 20 in April. Attended the camp of the Edmonton Oilers. Rookie camp back in the fall. He hails from Edmonton. Barzal. Good entry to Smith. Smith, the wrist shot at the top of the crease. Just the man we just mentioned. Jordan Paperny.
Yeah, you're not going to get an awful lot of goals from Smith. He's more of a kind of a calm the storm type of defenseman, plays a real smart game. Barzal with the entry, nice job getting it to Smith. You like the fact that Smith on the far right of your screen, defenseman's going to join that rush, but that's an easy save by Paperny. But it does establish a face-off inside Brandon's zone.
Smith with 6 assists during the postseason, and I've loved the way he competes and the way he defends. Very impressed in this championship series with the captain of the Thunderbirds.
Plus 17 to start the final. That was the best on the team.
Great commitment every night from number 2.
In fact, Peter, the top 4 defensemen for Seattle entering this WHL final were a plus 47.
Ethan Bear organizing as Barzal twists and turns, makes his way through the neutral zone, enters the attacking zone now. Barzal watched closely by Provorov, so finds Bear, who returns the favor. Last minute of the first period, Seattle would love a late power play goal to send it even to the room and drop. Teed up in the high slot. And he did not shoot it the way he would have liked to, and Paperny again in good position.
Well, 2 things. You do get the puck into the hands of number 13 there, and you get the puck into the hands of Groff with the shot. Exactly what was set up. They wanted that. Maybe not quite the release. Paperny a little bit deep there, but easily made the save. Barzell in the face-off zone. In the circle, Patrick wins that draw cleanly, and it allows Mitch Wheat to send it down the ice. Scott Enser. Wheat will win the race to the loose puck, clears it. Bear, nice work to hold it in at the line. Enser. Kolazar in the circle, broken up and cleared again. As Bow way out of the net. Time winding down. Smith. Niles. Long shot. And that'll bring an end to period number 1. Peter, we talked about a much more determined Brandon Wheat King team coming out to start this game. They did it. They scored first. Had an opportunity on a 5-on-3, couldn't convert, but still end up this period with a 2-1 lead. Very worthy of it, 18-11 shots on goal, and I think Kelly McCrimmon and his group's going to be saying, guys, that's exactly the start we wanted after 20 minutes. Jordan Paperny and company with a win will win the title as we send it to Andy Neal.
Thanks very much, Peter. Ryan Gropp coming off the 2-goal performance last night. He'll join Stu Walters after the break. We'll go inside the WHL with Kevin Sawyer in our NHL draft profile tonight. Cale Clegg on defense for the Brandon Wheat Kings, who strike first this evening and have a 2-1 lead through a period here on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
Hi folks, it's me, Don Taylor, way up here with my friend Murph. At Levitt Machinery, they sell, lease, rent, and service all these machines, and they offer certified training. Need a lift? Stack it, breach it, lift it. Levitt.
I want you to stay in my life.
Every year, when you support Full House Lottery, you support the lives of 1.1 million patients and their loved ones. Your ticket brings world-class care to the Royal Alexandra and University of Alberta hospitals. And that makes every Albertan a winner. Thank you from Full House Lottery.
AMTA, the voice of Alberta Highway Transportation. The AMTA now has 2 simulators in daily use, our static trainer in Edmonton and our mobile training unit out of Calgary, which allows training at the transportation companies themselves. These are invaluable tools, honing driver skills for shifting, banking, or hazardous road and weather conditions, all in a controlled and safe environment. And that translates to better safety on our roads. Introductory pricing of $30 per hour. Alberta Motor Transportation Association.
Helijet flies between Vancouver and Victoria, as well as Vancouver and Nanaimo. Day or night, rain or shine, plus free parking and shuttle service at all terminals. Take off today by calling 1-800-665-4354 or click helijet.com.
Bob Dale Gloves WHL Central is brought to you by Bob Dale Gloves. Found online at bobdalegloves.com.
And welcome back to Seattle, where after 20 minutes of play, it is the Brandon Wheat Kings leading the Thunderbirds by a score of 2-1 in Game 5 of this WHL Championship Series. The two teams combining for 29 shots in that opening period, very fast-paced. And here with Thunderbirds forward Ryan Gropp. Ryan, what can you say about that opening 20 minutes of play that seemed to have a little bit of everything? You guys had a bit of adversity to start.
Yeah, it was fast. Obviously, both teams are playing pretty desperate right now. We're obviously fighting for our lives, and we knew they would come out hard, and that's exactly what they did. We just got to match their intensity.
What can you say about the play of your goaltender early on as well, Landon Bow?
Unbelievable. No, he's been unbelievable all playoffs long, and for him to make those key saves on that 5-on-3 there was huge for us.
Ryan, what's the mentality in a elimination game here, especially after throughout the playoffs you guys have rolled over the competition fairly easily?
I think just desperation. I think for us, we really just got to move our feet and be hard on pucks, get pucks behind their defense, and try to work them down low. I think that's when we're playing our best hockey, is when we're moving our feet and working down low.
Speaking of playing your best hockey, your coach, Steve Konowalczyk, some compliments for you this morning. When you're engaged, you can just let your skill take over, and you, on many nights this season, were the team's best player. How do you make an impact in this game like you did in Game 4?
Yeah, for me, just working hard. I think when I move my feet, when I'm being hard on pucks and hard on battles, I'm really effective, and I'll have the puck. So for me, I really got to get that going here.
Ryan, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, Andy Neal, let's head up to you. Ryan Gropp playing his 26th playoff game, and just 10 playoff games so far as well in this series, because coming back from that upper body injury that he suffered at the end of the season. Up to you at WHL Central.
From Kamloops, BC, Ryan Gropp, thanks very much. Stu back at Bobdale Gloves, WHL Central, alongside Kevin Sawyer. 18-11 were the shots for Brandon in that opening period. How much better were they tonight coming off the loss in Game 4?
Well, they were excellent, and in saying that, in the first 10 minutes, they still had 6 turnovers. I thought that they got a lot better in the second half, managing the puck. I thought Brandon really attacked, and they weren't able to capitalize on that 5-on-3 power play, and I thought Seattle really gained momentum off of that, needless to say, from Bo. And what I really like with Seattle is the depth again showed up, and that Urich goal from their fourth line added offense, and we saw that Holoko line again. Both their first 2 shifts of the period were spent in the offensive zone, so a lot of positives from both teams.
Ethan Bear, 3 points in Game 4. He's been so big for Seattle from their blue line.
Well, he finished 5th in scoring among D-men in the regular season, and he leads all D-men by a field goal and a touchdown in scoring here in the postseason with 21 points. And here's what he can do. He's so patient and poised in the O-zone. Right there, most guys shoot that into the pads, and here's the 5th goal in Game 4. But as good as he is on offense, let's talk about his defensive side of the game. He has been excellent. Stick on puck. He makes it really hard to get to the middle of the ice on the body. This is a guy that can skate, and he is physical. Separates the man from the puck. Look at here. Just for fun, he pops the puck free after finishing the check. And that's against Calvin Turkoff against Kelowna. That's a big, strong guy. He knocks him off of his feet. He's plus 12 in the postseason. He's adding a ton of offense. That's what's expected of the 5th-round draft pick from Edmonton. But plus 12 defensively, he's bringing it on both ends of the ice.
What about the spark from the third line? You mentioned them earlier. The line with Holoko alongside Alexander True, who had the 2 goals last night, and Kevin Left.
That was the biggest bright spot for me in the Game 4 win. I mean, they obviously needed the win, but they needed the depth to show up. And here's Holoko with his first point of the series. Look at the pass on the entry, and there's True going to the front of the net for the rebound. And again here, it's a 2-on-1. Holoko cuts to the middle. True again, going to the front of the net, and that's where he uses his big frame. Look at that. He finally gets rewarded from it, whacking at it once, twice, and he gets the 2nd goal of Game 4. And then there, what a beauty pass from Left to True again. And I really like the way that Connor Walchuk has found some chemistry. The big body with True goes to the front of the net. He's 6'5", and the speed from Left, it's proved to be paying dividends for Seattle. That depth for Seattle has been a big difference.
What about their penalty kill? They killed off the 5-on-3, but McCoy Urkamp's go-ahead goal was on the power play for Brandon.
85% and first in the regular season, and they're at about 86% now. They only allowed 3 goals against on the power play and 19 attempts for Brandon. They've been excellent. There they are, stacking 4 across the blue line, making it hard for Brandon to gain the zone on the entry with the puck on their stick. And look at the way they put the puck on the wall. They are capable of battling, protecting the middle, put it to a safe area, and they usually get at 200 feet. And again here, even when it does get to the middle, look at the sticks. Popping pucks free, and they're an extremely hard team to generate offense against with the man advantage. Brandon finally found a way to solve the problem here tonight, but that penalty kill and specialty teams, their power play has been exceptional. They're around 28%, Seattle is, in the postseason, so specialty teams is proving to be a big weapon for Seattle.
And John Quenneville, he notches his 16th to lead everybody in the WHL playoffs.
This guy, nobody likes to score goals more than John Quenneville, and you look at the numbers that he's had in the regular season. He's just under a point a game in the regular season, and you can see what he's capable of. He finds open ice, and he knows what to do with the puck when he gets it. A huge shot. That's on the power play, by the way, in Red Deer. This is a guy that understands where he needs to be to score goals, and what really stands out for me are his numbers in the postseason. That's the goal in Game 4, 1 of 2, and we're going to see another one here. Check this out. Waits for the defender to go down, and that is a goal scorer's goal. Pops the water bottle, and again, like I said, nobody likes to score more than Quenneville. But you look at his numbers in the postseason. In 48 games coming into tonight, he has 58 points. I asked him yesterday at practice why so much better in the postseason, and he just says it's the easiest time of year to play. For most of us, it's the most difficult, but not for him. He's a true competitor.
Stelio Mateos,
16 years old. So many words can be used to describe him, but compete and desire. That's Kolazar, 220 pounds, a drafted NHL player. Mateos takes the puck off him, takes it to the middle of the ice and has a huge scoring chance. And here off the fly, he's got speed. He can shoot the puck, the first overall draft pick. And again, look at him. This is in Game 4, blocking shots. He's playing his 30th playoff game, and he is in his 16-year-old season. This is a game or goal 3 in Game 1 against Red Deer, which proved to be the game-saving goal as Fleury scored with 4 seconds left. But Stelio Mateos is an exceptional hockey player, and as skilled as he is and as quick as he is, it's his desire that really separates him from most. I really love a lot of things about this guy's game.
McCoy Erkamp scores in the first, but he'll have to wait till the second intermission. Inside the WHL with Kevin Sawyer from Kent, Washington, 2-1 for the Wheat Kings.
Whether you're sharing a moment, putting a plan in motion, or pushing through, you need your body feeling its best. Manitoba Chiropractors, giving you the power to move forward.
The Alberta Chambers of Commerce.
Sometimes somebody does have to speak up and advocate for a certain direction, whether it be economically or politically, and the Chamber is one of the organizations that does that.
It's a really good support network in terms of learning, development, and just sometimes camaraderie.
It's a diverse group in both age and gender, and also in business styles.
The Alberta Chambers of Commerce, where members matter and benefits count.
Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Shaw TV is home to the 2016 WHL playoffs. The journey will start with 16 teams, and we'll have all the hits, the saves, and the goals until one team is crowned WHL champions. For complete playoff broadcast information, visit shawtv.ca or whl.ca.
Hi, I'm Don Taylor here at Levitt Machinery, inviting you to watch Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw.
Helijet flies between Vancouver and Victoria, as well as Vancouver and Nanaimo. Day or night, rain or shine, plus free parking and shuttle service at all terminals. Take off today by calling 1-800-665-4354 or click helijet.com.
The WHL. Raise your odds of playing in the NHL. Over 20% of all NHL players got their start in the WHL. The WHL. Raise your game.
Well, McCoy Erkamp rips home his 4th of the playoffs. That's right now the go-ahead goal for the Brandon Wheat Kings, trying to close out this WHL championship. 2-1 over Seattle here in Game 5. Back at Bobdale Gloves, WHL Central. Defenseman Cale Clegg, a highly sought-after rear guard going into his WHL Bantam draft year, coming out of Lloydminster, Alberta, the border city of Lloydminster. Injury slowed him down last year, but in the second half of this season, he really showed what everyone expected when he was selected 6th overall by Brandon in 2013. And tonight, he's our focus in our NHL draft profile.
At the 2013 Bantam draft, the Brandon Wheat Kings yielded quite a crop. Already taking highly touted forward Nolan Patrick 4th, a trade with Lethbridge gave the Wheat Kings the 6th pick. With that, Brandon selected one of the top-rated defensemen in Cale Clegg.
Nolan's a great player. He's a really good friend of mine. You know, coming in with him and Tanner Kasper even, it's been really nice. Three good buddies of mine, both really good players.
Last season, Clegg and the Wheat Kings would live up to the expectations of a rising power in the WHL, advancing to the championship for the first time in 10 years.
Cale Clegg's got his first Western Hockey League playoff goal.
But the Kelowna Rockets ended the run in 4 straight. But with the loss comes valuable experience for a Wheat Kings team that has returned to round 4.
Getting that experience in the finals against Kelowna. Obviously, we didn't have the outcome we wanted, but you know, us young guys getting to go through that at a young age, it's definitely going to benefit our team this year. And we're stressing a lot to get better in our own end and track the pucks harder in the neutral zone. So I think we took away a little bit of that from the other winning teams in the past, like the Oil Kings and now Kelowna. So I think we've tried to add that to our game, and I think it's going to help us in the long run.
After an injury-plagued rookie season, Clegg returned to full strength and posted 43 points and a plus 25. While only in year 2, Clegg flourished with more responsibility.
I'm playing a lot more. playing bigger minutes, top 4 minutes, and getting power play time, PK time, stuff I didn't get last year really. So it's a great opportunity, and it excites me that I get to contribute that much more.
The WHL runs through the Clague bloodlines, with Cale's father Jason a former goalie with the Red Deer Rebels, and he had some advice for on the ice for his son.
He has this famous quote that nothing worth achieving is ever easy, and it's nothing but true. I think you have to work for everything you get, and I'm going to do that.
Ranked 27th by Central Scouting, Clague will see a dream realized as the NHL draft is held in June. But finishing the job of a WHL championship is what matters now.
It's a long ways away. There's lots of hockey to be played, so I want to keep playing my game and win a championship here with my team, and I think that'll make it much more special after that happens.
Well, the Seattle Thunderbirds, their final home game of the season. And it's a 2-1 deficit to the Brandon Wheat Kings in Game 5 as they try to stay alive again tonight on Levin Machinery, WHL on Show.
Bob Dale Gloves WHL Central is brought to you by Bob Dale Gloves. Found online at bobdalegloves.com.
The College of Medical Laboratory Technologists is the regulatory body that oversees the education, training, and conduct of medical laboratory technologists in the province. MLTs perform lab tests and interpret results to assist health providers with the diagnosis, management, and treatment of disease. If you have any concerns about the qualifications or conduct of a medical laboratory technologist, contact the CMLTM.
So, how's the new house coming along?
Not bad. I mean, all this mortgage stuff is a little confusing. More confusing than that ridiculous shirt you've got on.
Have you not talked to a broker?
Nah.
You need to do that, man. Think of them like this grocery store. The banks can only offer you brands from their aisle, but a mortgage broker can access brands from more than one aisle, ensuring you get the best value.
Finding the right mortgage for your needs can be complicated. You need an expert. Visit amba.ca.
Looking for big city amenities with small town charm? Consider the city of Wetaskiwin. Our community offers affordable housing, a regional hospital, and a world-class aquatic center. Make Wetaskiwin your city of opportunity.
Nestled near the Hills of Peace is a community where nature comes alive. A 17-acre lake within walking distance of the historic downtown is home to a diversity of wildlife. Looking for peace and tranquility? Make Wetaskiwin your city of opportunity for an afternoon or forever.
Just moments away from the start of the second period, and the team that is one win away from capturing the crown with a 2-1 lead. And Bill, it was an entertaining opening period that featured a little of everything.
Yeah, it certainly did. You know, when you get 5 Wheat Kings on one side of the ice like that, it's a must that you come up with a puck. Look at McGauley. He's on the far right. He wants it. Now you got all that open ice between the two defensemen. That's where Reed Duke's going to skate into. Now you got a 2-1 on that side of the ice and a perfect pass to John Quenville. A left-hand shot getting in on that right side to hammer that puck home. That's 1-0 Brandon. They opened the scoring, but boy, oh boy, on a 5-on-3 was Landon Bolt terrific. Just absolutely a wall back there. Stopped everything fired at his way. Seattle ties it at 1. And this is Andreas Schumacher just stripping Thompson of the puck. Perfect pass to Josh Urich. Tied at 1. Brandon on a power play. As they come up the ice, a couple things have to happen. You want the puck into the hands of this guy there. Far right of your screen. That's Urkamp. He knows that puck's going to end up on a save because Harlock is going to give him a perfect pass. You got the guy that you want handling the puck in Provorov there. You want the guy that's going to pass the puck there, and you want the guy that's going to rip it and shoot it there, and that's the 2-1 power play goal. That's how we end period number 1.
John Quenville's playoff leading 16th, and McCoy Urkamps with a power play tally as Kelly McCrimmon's men ahead of the Seattle Thunderbirds. Kelly McCrimmon was a member as a player of the first ever Brandon Wheat Kings championship team in 78-79. He was the general manager when they won it in 1996. Looking for his 80th postseason win tonight as a coach. Number 80 would result in his first win behind the bench in Seattle. Jared Smith with an early chance as their power play comes to a conclusion. Vulcan! Sensational stop by Jordan Paperny. My goodness, what a save.
How does Vulcan find himself so wide open? You know, you do get breakdowns, and Jordan Paperny knows that sometimes he's going to come face to face with a guy in front simply because of a mistake in coverage. And what a save on the 5'9", 194-pounder from Edmonton and Vulcan. His dad, Marty, played for the Seattle Breakers. Uncle Mickey, defenseman with the National Hockey League, Hartford and Calgary. His grandfather, Mike, played in the CFL with Edmonton. All Vulcans. And Jordan Paperny made sure that Nolan didn't get a goal in that play there. Spectacular stop by Paperny early in this second period to keep his group ahead. Answer just off the outside of the post. Seattle comes very close to drawing even. Answer off the board. Provorov bumped by the aforementioned Vulcan, who has 2 postseason goals. Both of them coming in Game 4 of their opening round series win over Prince George, including the overtime clincher. Bear on left wing for Vulcan. Rink wide, hooks up with Enser. Enser, spinorama, centering pass. Misses. Kolazar with it. Enser tripped up by Clegg, makes a fine pass, drop to the front, and blocking it is Hauerluck. Hauerluck enters the zone and does so just offside.
Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw has been brought to you by Levitt Machinery. Online at levittmachinery.com.
Hauerluck and Patrick were the first Brandon Wheat King teammates to reach 100-plus points in the same season in 20 years. Often, you can't stop both. You might be able to stop one. 5 hat tricks for him this season, and that's some power in that offense for the Brandon Wheat Kings.
2 6-point games. What a tear he was on from February on, and the Wheat Kings, Coulter off the cycle, has made it 3-1. Tyler Coulter, second of the series, and the Wheat Kings enjoy their first 2-goal advantage of this championship affair.
You know, when you get Landon Bow against the back wall, and if he loses possession of the puck, and more often than not, he's not. But as that puck is dumped in there, Bow goes behind the net. They don't get a clean transfer there. Simply because you get, again, as I said before, the forecheck, you get in people's faces. A good move along the back wall. That's Hauerluck with the pass, and Coulter slides in. Smith just can't cover him. Smith gets there a little bit too late. As much as he's a big guy, as much as he blocks shots and he's got that good stick, Coulter just simply overpowered the coverage right from the puck ending up behind the net where Bow didn't handle it cleanly.
So after Seattle had a glorious chance, Brandon's first chance of the period results in Tyler Coulter's 6th of the playoffs from Hauerluck and Patrick. There's another multi-point game in the postseason for Jace Hauerluck. Big hit on Thompson by True in behind the play. Wedman finds Urich, who has the Thunderbird goal. He scoops it in. Wheaton rings it. Tishka quickly sends it back behind the net for Urich. Out there with Barzell and the youngster Matthew Wedman. Tishka, they score! Tipped in front, and it's Urich again. And the Thunderbirds with a big response It's 3-2.
While they go on the offense, the Seattle Thunderbirds, so much of goals that you see scored happen off the cycle, Peter. You know, we talk about it. Off the rush, off the cycle. Well, the last 2 goals, the one that Coulter scored for Brandon, and this one here is all about work, down low, and when you get pucks deep, and we hear guys talking about get pucks deep, well, what happens is that you can stretch the ice from low to high, and that's exactly what happens. They get the shot from the point, and Urich is second in the night.
He scored just
within 1 again.
Scored just 6 during the entire regular season. He has 2 tonight. Now, it's not his first multi-goal game if you go back to the regular season, because he scored twice in a game versus Kootenay on October 7th. And a penalty upcoming to McCoy Urkamps. Quite a start to period 2.
Yeah, it's crazy. Don't be walking in that refrigerator at the wrong time, folks. Wow. McCoy Urkamps says, enter, don't come near us. Don't get near our goaltender. What an opportunity right here for Seattle to tie this game.
Their 3rd power play of the evening. Josh Urich, back-to-back goals for Seattle. 1 in the first, now here in the second. He has 3 in the playoffs. Ethan Bear to Jarrett Smith. Bear fakes the shot, slides it to Barzell. Smith, he scores! What a shot! We're tied at 3.
Just great puck with it. Probably 3, maybe 4 passes on this in the offensive zone. Then they finally get it to Jarrett Smith, and he's in such a good position to deliver the shot. That's pass number 2. There's number 3. Again, keep moving it. Again, you get a very lackadaisical 4-man penalty kill. The Brandon Wheat Kings just kind of stand around a little bit. As that puck is being zipped back and forth, they become very lethargic. There's no challenges. And Smith says, hey, that's exactly what I want. Left-hand shot just blows it onto the net and past goalie Paperny. Wow. Again, a little bit of the reason that the Seattle team's been so dominant on home ice, Peter. They won't take no for an answer.
Jarrett Smith hasn't scored a goal since the 23rd of February, and Brandon right back is Patrick with an opportunity. Smith scored that goal against the Vancouver Giants. And now a scrum ensues. We've only played 3:24 of this period, and we've already had 3 goals.
Yeah. Let's have one more look at the Smith goal. And, you know, when you pass that puck, I was talking about the 4, maybe 5 passes. Watch the guys in the yellow uniforms. They're in pretty good position there. I mean, you know, not a lot of sticks away I'd like to see them out, but eventually they all drift to one side of the ice. Forget about the fact that Smith might sneak in on that left side, and he makes them pay. The captain with a bullet.
First of the postseason. He had 9 during the regular season. Barzell and Ethan Bear. Bear now has points in 9 straight. Draw the assist after Urich had scored from Tishka and Barzell a short time earlier. 3-3 in Game 5. Just when you thought the Wheat Kings were moving into the driver's seat. That's why I love this level of hockey so much. Now it's Enter. Clegg fails to shoot it out. Barzell again. Knocked down. Good defensive play by Patrick. It's another reason he's likely to go number 1 in next year's National Hockey League draft. Howerluck with 2 assists. Finds the trailing Urkamps in front. Patrick! Robbed by Bo! Another beauty by Bo, and it remains 3-3. Barzell enters the zone. Pass gobbled up by Kaspick. And he'll chip and chase. Wins the race. Howard remains out there. Clegg from the left point, and that's kicked away by the left toe of Bo. Provorov to Mateos. He's bumped by Bear, and Bo will slow things down. Ken Harwick starts the rush. He's so good at winning these kind of battles there. One hand's on the puck, back to the blue line, get it into Patrick Urkamps with a rolling puck right on a Patrick stick. There's a shot, and again, you know, I mean, there was a little bit of mishandle of that puck by Patrick right there, and Bo had to stay, focused a little bit longer, but still was able to shoot that pad out. At one point during the course of the season, Nolan Patrick scored goals in 12 games in a row. Clegg looking for his first of this series. Right on target. And no rebound, courtesy of the goaltender. Yeah, nice job off the faceoff again. So much of that offense. This group of defense for this Brandon Wheat King team, doesn't matter who you get that puck to. That was a case there where Clegg is going to get it on the net. You better win these faceoffs here, the Seattle Thunderbirds. Get control of that puck, and even then you're going to be forecheck like crazy. Schulthouse paired on defense. The third pairing for Steve Konowalchuk with Jared Tishka, who just turned 17 back in March, and Tishka with his first ever Western Hockey League playoff point here in game number 5 of the second goal of the evening by Josh Urich, who has the puck now. And the puck scooped in by True. And Urich getting way more ice time. No wonder. Haven't seen a lot of them in the first 4 games. Are we going to have a too many men on the ice penalty here? I think the Wheat Kings are being called for too many. Let's check and see if the door comes open.
Now, when you have a discussion between coaches and you pretty much know that you are at fault, you count them. I see 4. Yeah, there's 6 skaters on the ice. And as I said, when the coaches converse, no argument on the play. He's saying, okay, what happened? How did you not know? You got to know when it's your turn to go. Now, remember, the last power play, Smith tied this game at 3. That was a McCoy-Urkamps penalty. So now it was going to be McCorster go over and serve it.
Over to serve it is Coulter, who made it 3-1 early in the period with his 6th of the playoffs. So Seattle back to the power play. They're 1 for 3. They tied it on Jarrett Smith's first of the postseason. Seattle has scored a power play goal in every game in this series. They have 7 of them. Barzal with a couple of helpers already to Smith. Looks at Groff. Smith, will he shoot it again? Barzal will, and whistles the wrister wide on the short side. Groff, the New York Rangers second rounder. Kolzar, Bear, and he can drill it. We know that, and did, and Paperny read it beautifully.
You know, this Seattle team's getting pucks into some pretty good areas with probably a little bit more ease. Kelly McCrimmon realizes that and gets a brand new group to kill that play off because, again, I talked about that last power play goal with Smith. I thought it was a little bit passive group of 4 guys on the ice. From a Brandon standpoint, you want a little bit more aggressiveness, a little bit more challenges, a little bit more gap control and active sticks.
Face-off win for the Thunderbirds. Barzal, another multi-point game for him in the postseason. Through the seam, finds Smith, drop in the slot. Kolzar down low. Bear makes himself available. Good seam pass to Barzal. Backs up towards the line. Circling. Now they go right behind the net. Dishes off in front, and Paperny read that well.
So careful, when you're playing against Matt Barzal, you get in his face and he'll handle a puck in a phone booth. Play off him a little bit too much, you'll find a guy to pass that puck to. You attack him, you attack that guy anywhere in the neutral ice area for sure, he's going to skate around you. He's a tough guy to handle.
7 assists now in the last 4 games of this series. Remains out there with Kolizar, Smith, Bear, and Groff. Barzell tracks down his own face-off win. Bear, great play to keep it alive. Barzell behind his back. Bear, wrist shot. Nice blocker save by Paperny. Smith. Provorov comes away with it, and it's cleared the length of the ice. 2-1 after one for Brandon. An early goal by Coulter, and then back-to-back goals. Urich, second of the night, and Smith on the power play. And this power play, if Howerlick can clear it down the ice, but he can't. And then tripped up as Donovan Niles will be another Wheat Kings penalty.
Nolan Patrick shoots that stick out really, really quickly. It is a trip, no doubt about that, but when that puck is turned over at the blue line, Wheat Kings can't get it out. They still have 5 seconds to kill off on that penalty. And that clear doesn't go out, and very quickly, boy, that's just a quick little jab at the legs by Patrick. One little poke. Man goes to the ice, and absolutely no embellishment on that. That's just how strong that kid's arms are, Patrick's arms.
So Nolan Patrick takes a seat. 5 seconds left on the too many men on the ice penalty. Bear tipped in front. Kolizar tries to jam it. Unable to. Smith, high rising wrist shot. Didn't miss the mark by much. Brock. Connor Walchuk staying with his first group. Been out there the whole time. Except for the last few seconds when Niles came out. Kolizar bodied off the puck by Wheaton and backhanded right to Bow. Barzell knocks it out of midair. Great hand-eye for Smith. Carries in, stays with it. Volkin throws a hit. Puck squirts loose to Magali, and the veteran makes no mistake. A minute to go in power play number 5 of the evening. Answer. The entry for Ottenbright broken up by Provorov, and again, it's Magali who clears.
Boy, he does create a lot of loose pucks, Provorov, potentially, doesn't he? Especially on the penalty kill. Very, very good anticipation of where this Seattle team might go with it.
See you in Philly next year, son. That's where I think he's headed. Time will tell. Volkin. Answer. Wins the race to the loose puck. Cleared, hit the referee, Ingram, and that helps. Here comes Kaspick. He might win this race. Pretty good recovery by Kishka. Reed Duke spinning with a puck. Backhander and a good one. Just went wide as Brandon's going to kill off another penalty. As Patrick about to step back out onto the ice. 3-3 in Game 5. Brandon with the victory captures the title. Patrick, his hard wrist shot over top of the net, and Wheaton unable to corral it at the line to keep it in, so the Wheat Kings have to clear the zone. Hoff. Koloko tips it ahead. Good puck support by True, but Mateos was there before Hoff sends it in. Provorov, tight turn away from pressure. Pretty to watch. Hoff, a backhand to the open wing. True, who scored a pair in Game 4, slides it deep down the ice. Provorov away from left, who got a little help from Paperny as play continues. Good setup, Quenneville to Mateos, who just missed. That's tipped now by Mateos right on target as Brandon comes close. And Tishka goes up the boards for the 2-goal getting Josh Urich. Bergkamps has one tonight too. Brandon clears it in. Bodies flying everywhere, Bill. Wheaton, good work to keep it in off the shoulder of Wedman. Howrluck tees it up. Then it is Campbell. Robbed by Bow. This is something else.
Saskatchewan Indian Gaming Authority operates 6 First Nations casinos in Saskatchewan. For more information, visit siga.sk.ca.
Before and after the game, Tony Roma's offers casual family dining. Tony Roma's, a family destination, legendary ribs, and famous for so much more.
Hi folks, Don Taylor here. Need a lift? At Levitt Machinery, they sell, rent, lease, and service machinery for your material handling needs. And they offer certified training. Stack it, breach it, lift it. Levitt.
With Wheat Kings head coach Kelly McCrimmon. And Kelly, this one's had a bit of everything. How pleased with your team's urgency on the road so far?
I thought our energy's been good. I liked our first period a lot. We've had quite a bit of penalty trouble here with 3 penalties in the first 10 minutes of the second. Got to get back to 5-on-5 hockey, but I think we've been good tonight.
Why are you not surprised that your leaders are doing just that, leading the way?
Well, I think it's across the board. We knew we weren't good enough in Game 4, and we want to respond here tonight.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Guys, Howrluck is going to pick this puck out of the air right there just before it lands on the ice. Gets a lot on it. Bo's not too sure where it is, but kind of feels it that it's in his arm area right there. He kind of hangs on to it. Oh, it is a bit of a loose puck. Kaspick in front. Again, Wheat Kings do such a good job of getting to that puck there. There he's got it. It ain't going anywhere, but terrific eye-hand coordination again by Jace Howrluck.
And Bo, a big save off Duncan Campbell from close range. Looks like a golf shot from Howrluck, who got a ton on that. Volkin takes a hip check from Urkamps. Coulter, who has a goal in this period, racing into the zone. Coulter, one-on-one with Hoff, who defends well. Smith has played a ton in this series and in this game. Volkin and Howrluck, good tussle on the end boards. Howrluck comes away with it. Howrluck already with 2 points in the game, spinning. His shot blocked in front, has it again! And Bo somehow locates that through a maze.
What determination. What an effort by Jace Howrluck. He just has that motor. Just keeps going all the time. And after the shot on net by Howrluck, looked like Coulter was driven to the ice, but again, that was with Coulter, who goes to the front of the net when Howrluck's got that puck. You want to get it to the front. That's right after the play, and you see the big job that Jared Hoff does on Coulter.
Coulter in some discomfort.
Yeah, he is. No question about that.
Hope he's all right. And good to see him get up. He's obviously cut.
Well, Jared Hoff, you go into his gap, if you will. You're asking for some trouble because obviously his size, and Coulter never afraid to go where the traffic's toughest, and Jared Hoff at 6'5", 224 pounds, wasn't going to deter Coulter from getting into that spot. And Peter, he knew for sure that he had a price to pay if he was going to get in there, and he paid it. This is Howrluck. He'll pay the price on the forecheck. He wants a loose puck. He's going to create it. So now he gets into this spot here, and at the front of the net, 21, Coulter knows he's got to get into that area right there. Look at him taking a beating. right in front of the net.
Coulter is in the penalty box, so is Hoff. And Kelly McCrimmon is some incensed with this turn of events.
I don't know if Tyler Coulter held that towel up in the box. He comes off the ice with the towel trying to show that, hey, listen, there's some blood involved in my mouth area. And he tries to give the referee one more look at it. Here it is. All right, and when he gets in the box, he's going to turn around and give the referee one more look at it. Look, 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 look. It's there, and you can't deny it. What is the call, Pete? 2 minutes on the board.
Well, it has to be some form of embellishment, I guess. What else would Coulter get a penalty for? And Kelly McCrimmon just shakes his head.
You could almost make a case for that being a 4-minute penalty against the Seattle Thunderbirds in the weekend with the power play, but it isn't the case.
Oh, it's 4-on-4 as McCauley tips the Urkamp shot out of midair, but he did so with a high stick. So just when you thought it was going to be a Brandon power play, Bill, as you just offered, and maybe for as many as 4, no, the only 4 is 4-on-4.
Yeah, and the penalty on each side of the screen totaling 4. Yeah, I don't get that one at all. There was no doubt there was red on the towel, and you saw he was down. Coulter was down with Hoff right in front of him.
Slashing, Bill, the call on Coulter. And now Ottenbright upended and knocks the net off its moorings.
Been impressed by Turner Ottenbright this year in this playoffs. He was acquired from Saskatoon. He's been to 2 NHL camps last fall at Washington and also New York. And I said this one time earlier, boy, you love the way he stepped up his game and given an opportunity when Shea Theodore ended up with Anaheim. Been a tough customer. Learning on the fly, big time.
Said it many times. No fun to play against.
And sometimes that's the only reputation you really need.
4-on-4 continues. Provorov plays it back for Patrick in high gear as he enters the zone. Patrick, toe drag, backhander from a sharp angle that nearly found the top of the net as we send it between the benches with our Stu Walters.
Yeah, guys, Jeff Ingram just explaining to Kelly McCrimmon, Ingram, of course, the referee, saying it doesn't matter. Tyler Coulter got the slash in there first on Landon Bowe, got a bit of a dig in there, if you will. So he says, doesn't matter what happened after. He got that first slash in, and response says, be damned. There you go.
Well, again, I'm not so sure. Give him the 2 minutes for slashing, but you got to turn that around with maybe 4 minutes the other way, don't you?
Well, it appeared that way, but that's not the case. So 1:26 left in the minor penalties to Coulter and Hoff. Ethan Bear leads the Thunderbird rush, left just onside. And it's Hawryluk. Takes a jolt, but comes away with a puck again. He's been brilliant in this game. Number 8 for the Wheat Kings. Left, sends True into the zone. Cuts to the middle. True, he scores! Alexander True, it's 4-3.
Unbelievably dangerous are Kevin Leth and Alexander True. The 2 goals last night, both off the rush. Get that puck into the hands of this guy here. That's Leth. That's got to be a 2-on-2 with everybody covered until the big guy from Denmark cuts and gets to that slot high area there and then delivers that shot. Paperny a little bit deep. Great shot. Good quick release. Look at him. Doesn't even look at the puck. He knows exactly where he's going with. Alexander True. His last year in Denmark, Peter, 13 and 14. He played in 3 leagues. The U17, then the 2nd division, then the Danish top men's league. And when he's come over here, he had 6 goals last year, improved to 14 this year, and man, has he been a factor.
The 18-year-old 2-time member of his country's World Junior team as Barzell weaves for a backhand attempt. The Thunderbirds trailed this game 3-1 earlier in the period. They've struck for 3 in a row. 4-on-4 continues. Barzal with Kolazar heading to the front. Ottenbright well over top of the net. Quenneville, who opened the scoring tonight. Barzal intercepted. Excellent defensive read by Magali. Love his two-way game. And now he enters the zone. One-on-one versus Ottenbright, and Ottenbright comes away with a puck. Kolazar at the end of the shift will roll the puck into the zone and head off on a change. Quite a turn of events. Niles steals and Paperny helps himself. Mateos. And he'll flip it in. Bear collides with Stelio Mateos. Whips the puck for Niles, unable to make the connection as Smith, who tied the game at 3 on the power play, sends it off the glove of Duncan Campbell and into the Brandon bench.
Peter, take a look at the 4 goals scored tonight by Seattle. Josh Urich, Jared Smith, Alexander True. I mean, where is the Kolazars, the Barzals, the Grofs, the Ensers, the Niles, the Volkans? They're getting a big effort out of those. Well, you want to call them bottom 6, it really doesn't matter. I'm not so sure that Konowalchuk's team might have a less true Holoko line as a third line or second line in this game so far today.
Alexander True has his 6th of the playoffs, his 4th in the series. He's scored in 3 straight games now. And has given Seattle its first lead in another must-win situation to keep their season alive. Brandon leads the set 3-1. Hoff. Left got a piece of it. And nice exit by James Shearer. Coulter makes his way into the zone as he sends it off the boards. True reverses to Hoff. And then he's spilled by Coulter after he delivered a pass. Left in neutral ice for True. Regained his glove and shoots it behind the net. The Western Hockey League at its best. In the championship series, we go back and forth. Lead changes. This is great.
You know, Peter, Alexander True at 6'4.5", 195-pounder from Denmark. When they acquired Andreas Schumacher, they had another big guy from Sweden at 6'5". They actually had to let a 6'7" player, Gustav Oldhaver, go. Believe it or not, they actually got smaller. I mean, it's not often that the Seattle team does exactly that, but boy, True has been, a phenomenal player the last couple nights and looks dangerous out there. They're not giving goals. He's been crashing the net. The 2-on-1 yesterday. This one here, cutting to the high slot. That's first-class stuff, folks.
Left with his 3rd assist in the last 2 games on the go-ahead tally. Groff trying to chase it down and will. Holds on to the possession. Hoff to Smith. Smith is shot. That one well wide of the target this time, but Erknecht backhands it off the boards to Magali. He leads a rush. Brandon with numbers as they hit the line. Barzal back defensively. Matthew Barzal. Brandon changing. And here comes Barzal. Wrist shot over top of the net. As Bear sends it right back down to him. And then he delivers it. Niles an opportunity as he moved into about 7 feet away. Bear thought about cranking it up. Dishes for Barzal. Now he'll crank it up. And Paperny again in excellent position to make the save.
Matt Barzal may not be scoring any goals in this series so far, but boy, I'll tell you, he's been a force. Nice job offensively. Always good in the face-off circle. And coming back, you got to come back and back check. He controls the pace of the play. As you talked about, he's got a lot of assists. Hasn't scored yet. Maybe that's just a matter of time.
Well, he had 61 of those during the course of the regular season. 88 points for Barzal, a member of Canada's World Junior team, in just 58 games. Brandon on the attack, looking for the equalizer. Patrick's line with Hauerluck and Coulter. And the puck makes its way over the glass and out of play, as we're now in the later stages of period number 2.
Well, it certainly appears like Coach Konowalchuk's team's success against Brandon, Peter, will be directly proportional to how much he can keep the Wheat Kings on their heels. Because when they play on their toes, as we know, as you know, as we all know, that follow this highly skilled Brandon team, if they can keep coming at you in waves, they're going to beat you, and they're going to beat you a lot of the times. But you can keep them back in their own zone. If you can keep them hemmed in a little bit, make them think a little bit more about defending than attacking, you've got a shot.
7-19, the shots in favor of the Wheat Kings, who recorded 18 of those in the first period on their way to a 2-1 lead, and then added to it early in a Coulter goal, only to see the Thunderbirds roar back with 3 of their own. Left back out with True and Holoko, and this group has become a very productive line in the last 3 games of this series.
Alexander True, well, let's see what he's done. This is a terrific move to get that puck in a position in front of the net. And then Kevin Leth with a 2-on-1. Kevin Leth gets it to him in the paint again. And tonight, game 5, high slot. He's been just, well, Pete, might he be a difference maker in these 2 games right now? Maybe is he the difference maker so far? I'd have to say he gets my vote.
Scored in 3 straight games as Kaspik shoveled it to Mateos and cleared out. Now, did it go off the glass? They're conferring.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Well, Andy Neal, maybe with the line on Shaw of the series, when he said they can't handle the True.
Well, I saw it game 1 really back in Brandon. And then in game 2, we talked about it, Peter. I thought that Coach Konowalchuk uses him, even though he's penciled in on a 3rd line. I saw him use him in ways that I was thinking to myself, boy, that's pretty special. How come? How come he fits so well in those top 6 all of a sudden? Because he used him on the power play, and he used him on penalty killing. When he put him up front on a power play, Alexander True, when he had Barzal go back to play the blue line.
Kelly McCrimmon awaiting the decision. See if this is delay of game or not.
Yeah.
That, I think, is okay.
In your own zone, you can do it.
That, on the flip, is a different story, because I don't think they were calling the hand over the puck, and I'm not sure they're calling anything, period. McCrimmon was down at the bench in front. Now Konowalchuk, because he wants a delay of game infraction. But the doors remain closed, and we'll continue to play 5-on-5 in this truly eventful game 5.
Now, Pete, you and I have talked about it. You get 4 goals against this Brandon Wheat King team, you got a shot. You have to get at least 4. I mean, if you got 3 or less, you lost 47 times during the season. Well, I don't think that's part of a breakout, is it? That you practice?
No.
Glove ahead?
So no penalty. And a face-off win this time for Scott Enser. Hoff. The big 6'5" blue liner out of Calgary, and Paperny nearly missed it. What a turn of events that might have been as Paperny keeps it out. And here's Mateos now Mateos in after his own shoot-in. Help from Kaspic. Mateos just waiting for him to find the back of the net. He's had great chances almost every night in the series. Boy, is he going to score a lot of goals before he's done. He's just 16. Former first overall Bantam pick in the league in 2014. Hawryluk, he's done nothing but score. And Barzal with a strip to Ottenbright on the tape of Keegan Kolazar, who stick-handled it inadvertently out. And now Barzal has to clear the zone. Patrick, nice backhand feed for Coulter. He's bumped effectively off the disc by Ottenbright. Kolazar has dropped. If he sees him, carries in. Hawryluk is there, so was Provorov, and now Bear in front of the Brandon bench. Tight turn. Turned over in the neutral zone. Here comes McGauley. Toe drag. Backhand in front. They score! Sensational play by McGauley. And we're even again. This time at 4.
So good at buying time in this situation is McGauley. First of all, the things that he does to get that puck off the wall, but you could feel that as he entered the zone, Peter, he knew that he had to wait. He had to buy a little bit of time. This is McGauley right there. Now he's got his head up. He's thinking, okay, I'll just toe drag. You know what? Right now I got to have somebody coming in over there. Absolutely right. Perfect. Waits, looks, get going to the net. Support that play. Support that great play. Hawryluk does. Comes in off that right side. Bo, so focused on the play right here. He has to be. Has no chance on that play at that point. All of that in the last minute and a half of this period. That was a big goal for the Wheat Kings.
1:13 left of the period, and Hawryluk is his 5th of the playoffs, his 3rd point of the game. And it's 4-4. First time Seattle's given up 4 in a game, going all the way back to February 20th when they lost 4-3 in Everett to the Silvertips. Haas off the glass to the line. Clegg banks it off Holoko, who races after him at the other end. Hawryluk's having an outstanding night. And some setup by McGauley. Bear carries the puck to center, and now he'll clear it in. Provorov awaits. Makes it look easy. Kaspic to the on-charging Urkamps. Campbell swats it into the zone, and that will do it for a highly eventful second period. Landon Bowe's team trailed at 1.31. Seattle scored 3 straight before Hawryluk's 5th of the playoffs ties it late in the frame.
Certainly this Seattle team proves how tough they are to beat in this building, but that Brandon Wheat King team with that offense, that's going to change the dynamics of what's happening in that dressing room with 20 minutes to play here tonight. Now that it's 4-4, it's going to change that dynamics completely. A different talk. Everybody's sitting up a little bit straighter, heading for a 3rd period.
Here's Andy Neal.
Tim McGauley, Peter, who had that brilliant setup on the Jace Hawryluk tying goal. He'll chat with Stu Walters on the other side. We'll go inside the WHL with Kevin Sawyer and a look back at last year's WHL champions, the Kelowna Rockets. High seas drama on the West Coast, a 4-4 tie on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
Ketchup and mustard containers are just as happy in your blue bin as they are beside your barbecue. Find more information about Multi-Material Stewardship Manitoba and how you can recycle something new at simplyrecycle.ca.
I think I've always been telling stories for as long as I can remember, and so I got to this position by just continuing to find really interesting things that are happening in my community.
For the complete interview, go to globalnews.ca. Loren McNabb.
Hospital's Lottery, in support of the Red Deer Hospital, is back with their biggest lottery yet. 465 prizes valued at more than $1 million. Electronics, vehicles, and an incredible heli fishing adventure in BC. And the grand prize, a unique cottage-style dream home built by Sorrento Custom Homes, valued at $799,000. Make this year the best it's ever been. Ticket deadline is June 19th. Don't delay. Call now or visit hospitalslottery.com.
Bobdale Gloves WHL Central is brought to you by Bobdale Gloves. Found online at bobdalegloves.com.
All right, welcome back to Seattle, where after 40 minutes of play, it is all knotted up at 4 apiece between the Thunderbirds and Brandon Wheat Kings in Game 5 of the WHL Final. 5 goals total scored in that middle frame. We are with Wheat Kings forward Tim McGauley. And first off, Tim, you had the assist there to chase Howard. Take us through that play.
I just climbed and picked it up there at the neutral zone there, and I just made a move on the defenseman, and then I heard Howie backdoor calling for it. I just put into a spot for him, and he just buried it.
Can you describe this game through 40 minutes? Seems like there's been a bit of everything in it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of ups and downs. I mean, that 3-1 advantage was big, and they came back and got the lead on us. So it's the finals. Anything can happen, so we just got to stick with it, keep controlled, keep composed, and just keep working.
Why has your team's urgency been much better than in Game 4?
We just know they're coming out with their backs against the walls. They here to survive, right? So we got to make sure we push it, match their intensity. We know they're coming out strong, so we just got to match it.
How hungry are you guys, especially with what happened last year, and how do you close it out in the third?
We just got to keep going. We got to stick to our strategies, just keep playing the way we're playing, get pucks in deep, play hard on the forward check and that kind of thing, wear them out, and good things will happen.
All right, Tim, good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Andy Neal, let's head up to you. There's Tim McGauley playing his 50th playoff game for the 20-year-old. Up to you at WHL Central.
All right, thanks very much, Stu. 26 points now in the postseason for Tim McGauley, the Washington Capitals prospect. Back here at Bobdale Gloves, WHL Central, alongside Kevin Sawyer. We've been treated to some dandy games throughout the 2016 WHL playoffs. This is right there with them. 3-1 Brandon, and that 2-goal lead didn't quite have the same effect for them as it did for Seattle in Game 4 because the Thunderbirds roared right back with 3 straight. Brandon gets a late one. What'd you make of that second period with 5 goals between the teams?
Well, where do you start? But the tempo may have been at its highest that we've seen all series long, and what can you say about Tim McGauley and Jace Howerluck? Those guys leading the way with Brandon. Unbelievable. Howerluck down below the goal line, the way he can administer the puck to places, and he just unbelievable with those passes. McGauley on the penalty kill, so many little things that he doesn't get praised for. A great touch around the net. They've been great. And then, again, the depth for Seattle. True, again, with 4 goals in the series, 5 points in 5 games. Leth and him sure are clicking, and Smith pitches in. So it was a heck of a roller coaster ride and a lot of excitement here.
One of the goals tonight provided by the captain of the Brandon Wheat Kings, McCoy Urkamps.
I love this guy for so many different reasons. He was second in scoring among D-men in the regular season with 71 points, and he's second now in scoring in the playoffs with a goal tonight, 4 goals and 10 assists. And he's a guy that can jump in and pass the puck. Watch him shoot it here from the point. He's got a heavy shot. And defensively, look at this. Watch him take Kolasar out of the play. Stick on puck, body on body. Kolasar's not an easy guy to defend, but Urkamps makes it look easy. And again, on the body, he's so reliable in the defensive zone. It's not always pretty, but he gets the job done on a nightly basis. He's playing against the other team's best players. And talked to Kelly McCrimmon yesterday about his captain, and he just says it's just the guy, everybody in the room and the coaching staff just knows he's the right guy for the job. He's tough as nails, and you can tell he's comfortable in his skin leading this team, and I think that his personality shows throughout the team.
You know, Brandon got off to that 3-1 lead. What changed? And Josh Urich, too, a fourth-line player who's really cashed in for them tonight with 2 goals. What do you think was the turning point for Seattle to get them right back into tonight's game?
Well, Bo for sure. Landon Bo has been the best player for Seattle, no question. He's made saves when he maybe shouldn't have made them, and he's making all the saves that they need to get the chances in the other end. And you're right, Urich comes up with a couple big goals, and he's been all over the place. I noticed that fourth line early in the game and that third line. So again, it's the depth scoring. Barzal's been in on the goals, but he's not the one pulling the trigger. It's been the depth that stepped forward, and now they've got that balanced attack from Seattle coming forward, and it's making for a heck of a hockey game.
Yeah, speaking of depth, there's Josh Urich with the 2 goals. Alexander True has scored in 3 consecutive games, and as you mentioned, 4 goals, which is now the most of anybody in this series. And then Jarrett Smith, that rocket, a goal and an assist tonight.
You had to wonder as well with Jarrett Smith. People question, is that what possibly Seattle is missing, is that second D-man that can provide offense on the power play, even 5-on-5. And Smith has had no shortage of chances, but he made no mistake with that shot on the power play to the top corner. It was an absolute cannon. He adds an assist tonight, so he's making his presence felt offensively tonight as well.
Well, a week from tonight, the London Knights and the Red Deer Rebels will do battle in the first game of the MasterCard Memorial Cup. London with a 1-0 victory Wednesday night to wrap up the OHL Championship in 4 straight. And Mitch Marner at 44 points in 18 games. How much of a favorite, perhaps, is London going to Red Deer?
Well, I think you have to assume that they are a favorite when you look at that line between Marner, Tkachuk, and Dvorak. They've combined for 119 points. And here's Tkachuk with one of his 20 goals in the postseason. We looked at it before. It's worth looking at again. Look at that behind-the-back tip. This kid is all sorts of skilled. And look here, between the legs, that's Dvorak in front of the net that's going to pick up the loose change. But that's the type of skill that teams in the Memorial Cup are going to have to deal with. And then here's a beauty pass from Marner to Dvorak. That's the 1-0 game-winning goal to win the championship in the OHL. And again, that line is just so dynamic. Between the 3 of them, they had 23 points in the series, led by Christian Dvorak, who's the second rounder to the Arizona Coyotes, where he had 9 points in those 4 games. So that's a solid team in Ontario.
And last time WHL hosted the MasterCard Memorial Cup, it was in Saskatoon, and London was the OHL champions that year as well. Rouyn-Noranda Huskies, though, their first QMJHL championship. They did it in a dominant way last night, 7-2 in Game 5 against Shawinigan. A big effort from Rouyn to get in to Red Deer.
You want to talk about a skilled team. This is a team, I said it before, they've got in the regular season 12 guys with 35 points or more, and that's Francis Perron up to AJ Greer, the second rounder. Those guys led their team in scoring. Francis Perron, by the way, led the entire league with 33 points, and there's a great feed to the back door from the San Jose Sharks, first rounder, and Rouyn goes on to win the championship. And this is a team that outscored their opponent 90-23 in the postseason. They're all sorts of skilled, and they've got an attack from all 4 forward lines. They'll be very hard to defend in Red Deer as well.
And Francis Perron, the first player since Jonathan Drouin in 2013 to not only win the regular season MVP award, but the Guy Lafleur Trophy as the playoff MVP in the QMJHL playoffs. So he's a guy to be looking forward to in Red Deer at the MasterCard Memorial Cup. And they await the winner of this series for the first Saturday game in Red Deer. So back to this one and the third period. What are you looking for from both sides coming out after that wild second period?
Composure for sure from Seattle. They haven't found themselves in this position very much in the recent history, and Brandon has. They've been here last year, so they'll rely on their experience from their Kelowna loss in the final last year. And I just think that the key for both teams is to keep the tempo up, discipline, and let's keep this game 5-on-5. May the best team win.
Jace Howrelick went a long time without scoring a goal. Now he has scored in 3 of the last 4 games. He scored in Game 4 on Wednesday. 3 points tonight. How big has number 8 been for the Wheat Kings?
He's so all over the place. I mean, he does so many things defensively. He's agitating everybody, drawing penalties. He's taken a couple himself, but I mean, to me, the best work that he does is below the hash marks, below the goal line. So hard to defend. Not a big body, but he uses his body well, and he's been, for me, a highlight for sure for Brandon tonight.
And you know, Jordan Paperny, although Ford's gotten by him, Nolan Volkland had that unbelievable chance early in the second period. I mean, it's tough for Jordan. He had a tough night on Wednesday in Game 4, and this evening again, he really hasn't had much chance on the goals that have gotten through him.
I agree, and I thought that save could potentially be the backbreaker for Seattle, because that is one that you just should score. You're expecting to score, and Paperny comes up, unbelievable on a huge save at a timely time in the game. So if not for Paperny, I didn't think that he was to be blamed for any of the goals last game, and he's been great again tonight.
And surprisingly, 4 goals in this one. Nothing coming from the top line from the Seattle Thunderbirds, although they were on the ice on the goal by Jared Smith. However, here are the totals so far in the championship series through 5 games. Matt Barzal, 7 assists, but a -5. A lot of minuses there. Ryan Gropp and Keegan Kolesar as well.
Well, I think that you have to look at that, and we heard from Steve Konowalchuk, saying that he needs more from some other guys. I think that Kolesar might be one of the guys that he's focusing on. As big and powerful as he is, I think that he has a little bit more to give. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, and this guy, when he's going, is a force to be reckoned with, and I'm not sure that he's reached the potential that he's capable of in this series. And anytime you're a minus player when you're one of the best players on your team, that's a bit of a concern, but the good news is like we said, those depth guys, third and fourth line guys, have certainly stepped that up.
Well, the first 3 games of this series went to overtime. We're tied through 40 minutes of play here in Game 5 of the WHL Championship. There's the equalizer from Jace Harlick. They made it 4-4 here on 11 Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
I'm not just here to fluff your pillow. I'm not just here to take your temperature. I'm not just here to hold your hand. We're here because we worked hard to get here. We're here because we can help.
All registered nurses in Manitoba are educated, experienced, and a big part of your care.
Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Shaw TV is home to the 2016 WHL playoffs. The journey will start with 16 teams, and we'll have all the hits, the saves, and the goals until one team is crowned WHL champions. For complete playoff broadcast information, visit shawtv.ca or whl.ca.
Hi, I'm Don Taylor here at Levitt Machinery, inviting you to watch Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw.
The Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Available at Lone Star Mercedes-Benz. Current offers at LoneStarInsider.ca.
Getting to play against the best competition there is for 16 to 20-year-olds, and what many consider to be the best junior league in the world is why I love playing in the WHL.
Each of these 40 pucks represents 1,000 Albertans living with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Here's how you and the NHL alumni can help fight this battle. Support the Alzheimer's Face-Off Hockey Tournament, April 30th to May 1st at the Terwilliger Recreation Center. Donate today. The funds raised go to Alzheimer's research. Get in the game. Research gives us hope for tomorrow.
Not quite full, but it's loud here at the ShoWare Center in Kent, Washington, and they're enjoying a dandy tonight, 4-4 in Game 5 of this WHL Championship. Their Thunderbirds trying to stave off elimination again, down 3-1 to the Brandon Wheat Kings. Back here, Bob Dale Gloves, WHL Central. Last year, the Kelowna Rockets were trying to do like the teams before them, the Kamloops Blazers and the Edmonton Oil Kings, who had won 50 games in a season for 3 consecutive years, did, and that's win the WHL Championship. And with Leon Draisaitl leading the way, they did. Here's a look back at last year's champs, the Kelowna Rockets. The Rockets claimed top spot in the Western Conference after toppling the 50-win mark for the 3rd consecutive year. Rourke Chartier and Captain Madison Bowie were selected to the first All-Star team. Chartier netted 48 markers while Bowie contributed 60 points from the back end. Nick Merkley was another key player as his 90 points ranked 6th overall. 2 mid-season trades with the Prince Albert Raiders added Leon Draisaitl and Josh Morrissey to the already potent offense of the Rockets. Draisaitl notched 53 points in only 32 games after returning from the NHL. For the first time in 5 years, there would be a different team representing the Western Conference in the WHL Final, as Kelowna beat the Portland Winterhawks in 6 games. This set up a matchup with the Brandon Wheat Kings for the Ed Chenoweth Cup. The Rockets swept the series to win their 4th league title. After amassing a league-best 28 points, Draisaitl was named the playoff MVP. The MasterCard Memorial Cup was held in Quebec, and it was the curtain call for the historic Colisée. The Rockets had a showdown with the Oshawa Generals in the championship game. It was a bittersweet ending, though, as Kelowna fell 2-1 in overtime. Draisaitl earned MVP honors as he led the tournament with 7 points. Well, the WHL goalie of the week, Jordan Paperny of the Brandon Wheat Kings in the first 2 games of the series. Look at those numbers, .944 save percentage for those 2 victories in the opening 2 games of the series, but 10 goals allowed in the last 5 periods. And for all information on the WHL, just go to its website, www.whl.ca, although Paperny's made some big saves as well for the Wheat Kings. We're trying to close it out tonight, but in a 4-4 tie, headed for the 3rd on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
Bob Dale Gloves WHL Central is brought to you by Bob Dale Gloves. Found online at bobdalegloves.com.
Tony Roma's, serving its signature ribs for 40 years. With an expanded menu including steaks, chicken, and seafood, Tony Roma's is a family dining destination. Tony Roma's, legendary for ribs, famous for so much more.
Welcome to Select Fluid Power, home of our brand new state-of-the-art cylinder repair and hard chrome plating facility. With a fully equipped hydraulic cylinder repair shop, Select Fluid Power is your one-stop cylinder repair shop. Open 7 days a week, serving Western Canada.
Crown Isle Resort and Golf Community offers year-round outdoor golfing, accommodations with in-room jacuzzi, timber room bar and grill, and real estate opportunities. More info at crownisle.com.
Hi folks, it's me, Don Taylor, way up here with my friend Murph. At Levitt Machinery, they sell, lease, rent, and service all these machines, and they offer certified training. Need a lift? Stack it, reach it, lift it. Levitt.
Oh. Yeah. We be brushing. We be brushing. Yeah. Check it out.
We be brushing. Yeah. We be brushing. Yo. We be brushing. Yeah. We be brushing. We be brushing. Yeah. We be brushing. Yo. We be brushing. Yeah. We be brushing. Yeah. Brush.
Fantastic second period. We got 5 goals to show you. Boy, this is as quick as you can cycle a puck. The Wheat Kings do. They get it from Harlock to Patrick, and that quick pass to Coulter. That gave Brandon a 3-1 lead. But a minute and 5 after that, Josh Urish, you get a tip here on the Tishka shot from the point. That got Seattle within 1. A power play now by Jared Smith. This is important. You watch how he waits for open ice. He's on the far right of your screen, right there. He's got a feeling that if he hangs around there, you're going to get this weak power penalty kill sagged to one side of the ice. Sure enough, he gets it. He drills it past the goaltender. Now you got Alexander True at 6'4". He can skate. What puck protection. What a shot. That gave Seattle a 4-3 lead. This is wonderful stuff here. You know, the Wheat Kings in goal, they attack the puck there. Watch Harlick, number 8. Look at the screen that he puts on, the pick, if you will. And then he has the presence of mind to get into the offensive zone. He taps his stick, bang, to give McGauley a knowledge that he's there for the pass. He told Stu Walters, McGauley did. He knew that Harlick was there. He was calling for the puck. He delayed enough, put it right on his stick. That came in the last minute and a half. That's tied the game at 4. And man, we must be in for a beauty here going into the 3rd.
Chase Howerlick's 3rd point of the night ties it with 1:13 to go. And in a series that has already featured 3 overtime games, might there be a 4th? The Brandon Wheat Kings, with a triumph, will capture their 3rd ever Western Hockey League crown.
Levitt Machinery is a proud sponsor of WHL on Shaw. Need a lift? Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
Kelly McCrimmon, a lot of work left to be done. He knows it, but his team in command of the series, trying to do what no Brandon team has done since the year 1996. When Bobby Brown was the playoff MVP, team featured the likes of Mike Leclerc, Corey Surratt, Chris Digman. On defense, Wade Rudd, Justin Kurtz, Jody Lehman in goal. Here's McGauley. Quenneville in front to Duke and stopped by Bow from close range. Seattle on a change. Quenneville will get to it first. His pass gobbled up by Ottenbright and sent ahead for Barzell. Flips it into the corner. Niles in pursuit versus Cale Clegg. Niles runs into Big Mitch Wheaton, and Clegg with a little room to operate. Great lead pass. Here's Hauerluck again. Fans at a shoot-in, and it leads to an offside. Ottenbright and Hauerluck, that's not the first time they've gone, well, let's just say toe-to-toe.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Quenneville's so big and strong on that board at the back end there. Magali, he's going to get away, get that puck here. Now, you get the two guys, Quenneville, Magali first, and Quenneville follows it up with a pass to Duke and a real good save again. But that's how quickly this team can get on the attack, can get on the forecheck. That's how quickly Brandon works the back walk, gets guys to the front of the net.
We mentioned Brandon and their hopes. Seattle wants to force a Game 6 Sunday in Brandon at the Westman Center as Coulter and Niles tied in a knot. And holding is going to be the call. Is it just Niles?
Tell you what, I used to coach some high school wrestling. And the way this thing starts, it's just like a takedown. Okay, you start in that position, you're grappling for a position. The only problem is you never want to end up in your back. You're going to lose the match every single time. That was pretty funny. That was good.
Coincidental Miners will play 4-on-4 again as Coulter in the penalty box. And so is Donovan Niles.
You know, when Kelly McCrimmon was asked in a post-game presser about last year's final, the experience making a difference, and I thought he had a really interesting answer, Peter. He said it appears it has. He wasn't too sure. Well, you see right now, too, 20 minutes away from the championship are the Vikings. They're tied at 4. They got a lot of work to do. It's a tough Seattle team. But let's see if the experience really does make a difference in 20 minutes.
Reed Duke to McCoy Urkamps. Urkamps from Delta, British Columbia. You know he has friends and family in attendance here. Barzell turns away from pressure. Waits for his mates and circles back. And leaves it for Ethan Bear, who's extended his playoff point streak tonight to 9 games. Ottenbright with a hard shoot-in. Progrov, strip, Barzell, drop! Just missed! Great chance for drop. Long shot by Ottenbright and held by Paperny.
You know, just earlier in this shift, we were saying, what is Barzell doing? He kind of winds up, wants to go up the ice, turns, goes back the other way. What is he doing? What's his plan? Well, this is his plan. Get it in the offensive zone when they can and work the boards, get that puck into Ryan Gropp's hands. Very diligent little way to get it away. Normally, you got to take him to the wall and eliminate a guy like Barzell.
Drop with 2 in game number 4 in a 6-1 triumph to keep the Thunderbirds alive. 4-on-4 continues. And by my count, Seattle has 2 4-on-4 goals in the series. Patrick, who has his 27th playoff point tonight. Backhands it to Wheaton out there with Hauerluck. Patrick wants to cut in front, sweeps at it, he scores! Nolan Patrick, 2:55 in, and the Wheat Kings back in front.
Peter, he's the guy that carried the puck into the zone and looked like a pro to me doing it. Then when that puck got into the offensive zone, I mean, he is just all head up. He's going to go through that check. And when he gets here, I want you to see his reach. The way that he can extend himself. That's a tap by Hauerluck. How does he protect the puck that well? He's got Ottenbright all over him. This is just wonderful stuff. Harlech with another assist. Look at the separation that he creates so that puck can't be knocked off his stick. That is big league stuff. And if you walked in the building and said, you know what, you looked at his birth date and you said, okay, he's hockey age 17. He's already been 2 years in this league. I mean, how good is that guy going to be next year? Folks, you'll see possibly, in all likelihood, the first overall pick in the National Hockey League draft next year.
I sure like his chances. Nolan Patrick, who did not record a point in games 3 and 4, has a goal and an assist. And the go-ahead marker, his 13th of the playoffs, 2:55 into this third.
Simple chip in by Wheaton, advance the puck along the back wall by Harlech, get it into the hands of Patrick, and he gets everything done after that.
And Jace Hawryluk has his 4th point of this game.
That line has been unbelievable. Coulter, Patrick, Hawryluk.
Kolazar in pursuit of Provorov. Takes a solid hit. But Provorov finds an outlet, and that outlet is John Quenneville. Away from Barzal. Urkamp's up on the rush now to Quenneville with that big wrist shot. And Bo makes the save, and a little bit of a warning that time as contact was made with Bo after the whistle.
No lead protection there by the Wheat Kings at all. You got Urkamps, he's a defenseman. That's the guy with the puck. He's going to go in. Doesn't matter what the score is. He knows he's got enough guys back there to support him. They can skate well enough to get back and protect when he goes deep. Nice drop pass of Ewell to high slot to Quenneville.
Urkamps has his 4th of the playoffs, scored on a power play. Back in the first to make it 2-1. It was 3-1, Brandon. Seattle led 4-3 on an Alexander True goal in the second before Magali set up Hawryluk with 1:13 to go. And now Patrick, with his 13th of the postseason, has Brandon back in front. 16 minutes away from capturing the crown in the 50th anniversary of the Western Hockey League. Puck chipped in, and Tishka, who has an assist, intercepted. Campbell, robbed by Bo. File that one in the memory bank as this third period continues. Patrick keeps it in at the line. True trying to fend off Hawryluk. True runs into Provorov, and Hawryluk back with a puck. 10 occasions in the regular season, he had 4 points or more in a game. And has 4 here this evening. And now wins another puck battle and shoveled in front. And a chance for Patrick after Coulter sent it on target. From a sharp angle at Patrick. Brandon with a heat on, trying to make it a 2-goal advantage. And finally, Koloko shoots it out to the neutral zone. Does Seattle have another push left in them?
They're going to need it. They did score 3 in a row in that second period.
Clegg away from Barzal to Quenneville. 16 goals in the postseason to lead everyone, including the game's opener tonight. The New Jersey first rounder is tucked down. There'll be a Seattle penalty.
Now, Matt Barzal, we showed you how diligent he plays defensively. And when that happens, you kind of stretch the situation once in a while with your stick. Doesn't have to put much on Quenneville, but when a guy as big as John Quenneville hands up on the ice, generally it's a reason that it has happened, and usually there's not too much argument on that.
Brandon sends out Patrick. Coulter, Hawryluk with Urkamps and Provorov. They do have a power play goal in the game. Hawryluk loses a board battle. That has rarely happened in this game as Hoff clears it out of play.
Obviously, this Wheat King team knows that with that 1-goal lead right now, how big and important this power play could be in determining whether they walk out of this building as WHL Championship Series winners.
Shoveled in front of the net. Here's Howerluck. Loses the handle. Then lifts the stick of Smith, who's had a good night with a goal and an assist. And out it comes. And now Smith jumps up on the attack short-handed. Smith, wrist shot. Steered aside smartly by Paperny. And now it's Coulter with Howerluck as they enter the zone. Coulter delays. Howerluck. He scores! Point number 5. And Brandon with a 6-4 lead.
Incredible how somebody on the attack for the Brandon Vikings will always make themselves available for a pass. Plays just never die offensively. 4 Seattle Thunderbirds drawn over to the play. Howerluck all by himself. What a pass. Look at the net that he's got to put that puck into. Bo just can't get over there quick enough. And it's a 2-goal lead. My goodness. Howerluck in the middle of it again.
Point number 5, his second goal. 6 of the postseason. For the second-round pick of the Florida Panthers in 2014. Niles. Into the high slot. Volkin with traffic. And then off the glass, shoveled towards the net. And Paperny does very well to keep that out.
A must for the Brandon Vikings. You know you're going to get some pushback. You know that guy right there, Scott Enser, is going to be in the middle of any kind of a pushback. He's going to be around the puck. Chases, dominates so many situations. Again, off that back glass, you better know where it is. Looked like Mitch Wheaton overskated it. He thought he had it. I thought it was below, I think he's saying. In any case, you've got to get that big save from Paperny, especially after taking a 2-goal lead. Pete, you know that the Seattle team is going to come back hard. This is really now battling for all their life to kind of keep this thing within reach.
Well, Bill, according to the official score, at least the website right now, I have him with 5. They have him with 4. So we'll see how that plays itself out. Had him with a first period assist on the Urkamp's goal, second period assist on a Coulter goal. He scored late in the second period and then has a goal and an assist in the third. So maybe they've taken away a second assist from him earlier in the game, but he most certainly has 4. I don't think there's any question about that. And now the Thunderbirds are reviewing, or certainly the officials are, to see if this puck entered the Brandon net, I would think.
Well, there certainly was a bunch of activity around the paint in the crease area. I didn't see any celebration by anybody, Peter. I don't know.
No, neither did I. I didn't see any sticks up, but let's have another look.
No, nothing. Yeah, he's pushed into the net, no doubt about that. It was a no-goal call on the ice, so there'd have to be really strong supporting evidence to overturn this, I would guess.
Kelly McCrimmon looks up. His team 13-17 away with a 6-4 lead, and I don't think it's going to become 6-5.
Yeah, I'll have a look at one more time. He definitely gets pushed into the net. Campbell back in the paint. I don't think there's too much to worry about at this point. But Kelly McCrimmon, you've talked about the times he's been coach and general manager. Going into the Memorial Cup, he won 5 Eastern Conference titles, trying for, won his 6th this year. He assumed ownership of this team in 2000. Here's going to be the call pretty quickly, and I don't suspect anything other than that call.
As far as Howerluck's concerned, apparently he has not been given an assist on the Patrick goal, at 2:55, although I clearly thought that he was the player who tapped it before Patrick's sensational ability to protect the puck and slide it by. 4 or 5, well, that's outstanding work regardless. Kolazar, he and his mates need to come up with some outstanding work with 13 left in its season for the Thunderbirds if they can't find a way. Trailed at one point, 3-1, came back the lead 4-3, but a late goal by Howerluck from Magali with 1:13 tied it. And now Patrick, another terrific wrist shot over top of the net. Kolazar with Barzell off the board, just out of his reach, and Howerluck back defensively. Coulter chops at it, Hoff keeps it in. He'll pursue it down the boards. Still with it is Hoff. Finds Volkin. Hemmed up and now knocked down by Wheaton, who shovels it to Howerluck, and he takes pointed goal on the boards from Niles. And to center comes Cale Clegg, who slides it in behind the net. Smith makes his way to center. Carries on. Holoko. That shot hit a stick and went wide of the target. Duncan Campbell shovels it. Smith off the stick of Campbell, and now it's Schulthouse. He collected his first ever Western Hockey League playoff point earlier this evening. Mateos past Tishka, but they'll wave it off, and the puck doesn't look like he'll make it anyway, so Tishka back to take over. Towards Holoko. Mateos is there, so is Magali. And it's Reed Duke. Brandon with his 2-goal lead. You can bet, Phil, this veteran team will look to make Seattle play it 200 feet every chance they get.
Yeah, no question.
Here's True, though, breaking through. True with a hot hand, but Paperny with a big stop.
Well, Pete, to your point, the Wheat Kings had just got that puck in deep. They were in super good position in the neutral ice area defensively, was Brandon, until the big guy, who's really just come of age, if you will, in this playoff series. I didn't see a whole lot of him during the season. I knew he was an import picked in the CHL draft, but the ability to accelerate and the ability to skate with the puck has been phenomenal. There's a hit on Harlick. He's taken a hit everywhere to make a play. I don't know how much of the puck he got on that play, but it was advanced from the time he made the hit. The puck was advanced about 20 feet. Sometimes that's all you want.
Kolzar back out with Drop and Barzell. Drop shovels it to Barzell. Returns the pass, and here's Bear. Ethan Bear looking for a shooting lane. Slides it down low. In front, Kolzar pulled the trigger, and another big stop for Paperny. Barzell, top of the circle. Wrist shot tipped in front. Paperny stopped that too. Now he's coming up with some big saves. Bear with Kolzar in front, and one more from Paperny to end the shift in the Thunderbird pressure.
Every one of these shifts that ends up being played in the Brandon zone, like you see this last 30 seconds, gives this team a lot of confidence. I just feel the Wheat Kings are a little more passive in their own zone than I've seen them. There's just a lot of room for the team in white, the Seattle Thunderbirds, to get the pucks, to win races, to control pucks. Look where they get it, and eventually this team is too good that puck's not going to end up on the net.
Pass Smith, a race for it, and Bo out to handle it. 35-25 the shots in the game in favor of the Wheat Kings, who had 18 in the first. Holoko to the line, stopped up, and good work to keep it in by Hoff. Answer, wrist shot tipped by Niles, and didn't miss the mark by very much. Seattle trying to draw within one. Hoff hit his own man, then Niles scoops it towards the front. Urich, who has 2 goals. Hoff and Smith in close quarters. Wrist shot, tipped, but that one goes wide. Good pressure by the home side now. Enser, he does a nice job protecting it, and that pass from Josh Urich will go by Smith. Brandon changing. And Barzell in before Enser could make his way out. It was 4-4 going to the third. Patrick, then Howerluck. Brandon closing in on a title.
Halajet flies between Vancouver and Victoria, as well as Vancouver and Nanaimo. Day or night, rain or shine, plus free parking and shuttle service at all terminals. Take off today by calling 1-800-665-4354 or click halajet.com.
Tony Roma's, serving its signature ribs for 40 years. With an expanded menu including steaks, chicken, and seafood, Tony Roma's is a family dining destination. Tony Roma's, legendary for ribs, famous for so much more.
Hi folks, it's me, Don Taylor, way up here with my friend Murph. At Levitt Machinery, they sell, lease, rent, and service all these machines, and they offer certified training. Need a lift? Stack it, breach it, lift it. Levitt.
We're going to show you 10 goals, 6 of them Wheat Kings, 4 Seattle. Concentrate hard because they're going to come at you pretty quick. Kelly McCrimmon's team opened the scoring. John Quenville made it 1-0, and it was so important for the Brandon Wheat Kings in this situation to open the scoring. What a one-time pass there, great shot. Urich ties it at 1 for Seattle. Erdkamps makes it 2-1. Into the second period, Tyler Coulter 3-1. Urich a deflection, 3-2. Jared Smith a power play goal, tied at 3. Alexander True, what a series, 4-3. Harlech late in the period. That was a big goal. In period number 3, Patrick makes it 5-4, 6-4 Harlech on that play there. That's where we stand all of this. With just a little bit left, maybe less than 10 minutes. I got to wait for that clock to count down, Peter. Give me one more second. We got 9:17 left in period number 3.
Still an eternity if you're Brandon fan.
Oh boy. I don't like the play of the Wheat Kings right in their own zone. They've given up 2 shifts. This is number 3 in a row where Seattle's gotten that puck where they've got it now, and they're creating.
I'll credit the Thunderbirds because their fight all series long has been terrific. Remember, this series opened with 3 consecutive Brandon 3-2 overtime wins. And the Thunderbirds keep pressing. Went 12-1 on their way to this championship series. Kolazar clears it in, and then Paperny has to be careful. He has lots of people there, but they blow it down as we go back down to Stu.
Yeah, thanks very much, Peter. At the 10-minute timeout, they're pretty quiet on the Thunderbirds bench, but over here on the Wheat Kings bench, Kelly McCrimmon was telling his forwards, hey, don't be afraid to help your guys out on defense. Collapse down low, and Billy, you're exactly right. He thought they're being a little bit too passive in their own zone, letting Seattle do a little bit of whatever they want. We'll watch for that as it goes on here.
Jared Smith in what he hopes is not his final junior game. Coulter, who has a goal in the contest. Howerluck has 2 and 2 assists. And he's muscled down as Niles. Rink wide, finds drop with Enser. Excellent one-on-one work by the Brandon captain Erdkamps as Howerluck delays and finds the on-rushing Coulter. Off the stick, goes wide of the net. Patrick reaching for his mouth as he scored the go-ahead goal at 2:55 of this third, his 13th of the playoffs. Campbell, pass Bear and Enser, make that left, Cavan left, controls it, turns away, and sends it to Bear. Ahead for Barzell, but he's stopped in his tracks, and Duncan Campbell enters, twists on the cycle to Kaspick, and he has the puck taken away, but Barzell fan on a backhander might have been the best thing. Played it on the boards instead. Mateos shovels it towards the front. Just over 7 to go in regulation time. The Wheat Kings that far away from paving their road to Red Deer in the MasterCard Memorial Cup, which starts a week from tonight with the host Rebels playing the Ontario Hockey League champion London Knights. Mateos, Magali for Quenneville. He shovels it right back to Magali. He set up that sensational goal late in the second to tie it by Howrela. Now it's Duke. It's exactly the kind of shift Brandon will take from here on in.
Going back the other way.
Yep. Worked on it a lot in practice.
That might go the other way as well. There it goes. One more time.
Textbook.
There it goes. Textbook, Pete. You're absolutely right.
Quenneville. That's a cycling clinic that the Wheat Kings just put on for the last 40 seconds. And that Magali line, they'll get some pats on the back at the bench as they make their way off. Provorov. A step on Groff. Up the middle it goes, shoveled ahead by Coulter, and now it's Otbright dealing with a rolling puck, and True scored in 3 straight. Sends it in. Out there with Urich and Groff. As Steve Konowalchuk looks for a combination to draw him within 1. Ahead now. Here comes Howrela, goes behind his back, but he is offside.
Let's have a look at what's happened with this big line tonight. My goodness, have they dominated. We talked about Nolan Patrick coming in here the first 2 games, not getting a point. Look at what Harlick's done. Look at Magali's 2 assists. And back to Patrick, if I may, the 2 goals that he scored in the series coming in a game 3 were 2 big game-tying goals. One was 1-1 in Brandon. The other one was 2-2. They knew they had to get him going, and boy, has he and the rest of that line delivered tonight.
Nolan Patrick, the 17-year-old from Winnipeg, whose dad was a member of the first ever Brandon Wheat King Western Hockey League Championship team back in 1979, leads all playoff scorers with 30. Huge hit delivered that time by Kaspic. And remember, it was Kaspic who scored the overtime winner in Game 1. Smith with some room. Now he's closed, but keeps it alive against Provorov. Wants to center it. As Provorov bumps Enser off the puck, but gobbling up the loose change. Drop in front for Smith. Smith down low, and the Wheat Kings. Wheaton sends it off the high glass and out. Just over 4 minutes now remaining in regulation. Can this valiant Thunderbird group find it in themselves to make one more drive at this outstanding Wheat Kings team? This is the man that can do it. Barzell fakes a pass for Kolazar, and here comes Landon Bowe to the bench. Beer in front. Hit Kolazar. Net empty. Coulter missed it. Beer against Howrela. And Beer, 2-foot pass to Barzell. Pulling out all stops. Why not? True off Provorov. That stick in the road again. Kolazar, he tests, but pretty bad in front. And now Howrela at the empty net. You know where it went. Now that's point number 5.
How did you just have a feeling that when he turned around and shot that puck, it was going to go in that empty net?
The hat trick. 5th point for the Roblin, Manitoba product, Jace Howrela.
Yeah, there's not much you can do, Coach. when this Brandon team is firing on all cylinders offensively. Yeah, they haven't been great in their own zone, as great as I think they're going to have to be if they play some more hockey in Red Deer. But my goodness, have their guys come to play, and there's just not much you can do.
Jace Howerluck, who recorded 5 regular season outings with 3 or more goals, has a hat trick and 2 assists, as he may very well have iced the Western Hockey League title into an empty net with just 3:19 to go.
Clearly, the award of Brandon's hardest working player on the season. No doubt. You can see that in one period.
Here comes Bo again. Going to try it one more time. Left in front, in behind. Answer and Mateos, a smart play just to make sure the puck leaves the zone. Boy, you like to see that out of a 16-year-old, don't you?
My goodness, look at that Brandon bench.
Oh.
Are they focused on what's going on the ice? I watched the whole group of heads turn. They were standing, they're leaning over the benches. That puck went into their own zone.
How can you not be?
Look at it. All just focused everywhere.
So excited they could barely stand it.
Exactly.
This group trying to become the 3rd ever Wheat Kings championship team, as Answer has it go past him. And unfortunately for the Thunderbirds, a faceoff will come all the way back down in their zone.
Friday the 13th, Peter. Looks like it's going to prove a very good day for the Brandon Wheat King Hockey Club. You know, when Seattle scored 3 goals in a row, that would beat a lot of hockey clubs. When they made it 3-2, 3-3, and 4-3, this Brandon Wheat King team got a goal by Harlech late in the period, and you had a feeling, as I said, when they sat in that dressing room in between periods, they said, guys, we're 20 minutes away. We're not going to be denied. And, boy, they've come out in the 3rd period and proved that.
Bill, how big was the goal by Howerluck on the wonderful setup by Magali with 1:13 to go in the 2nd period that tied this affair at 4-4. Brandon led at 1.31, and then Seattle roared back. That, to me, is the goal in so many ways, along with the Patrick goal that gave them the lead back early here in the 3rd, that really stand out. Donovan Niles has had a wonderful championship series. And he's 18, and he'll be a big part of this Seattle group next season. And the Thunderbirds return a lot of key players.
Last season, the Seattle Thunderbirds featured 11 WHL rookies, and they lost in round 1 in that playoffs in 6 games, by the way, to that great Portland team. That great experience is coming back this year. Regular season paid off so much. And you know that young Seattle group, with another year of experience like this, is going to be terrific next year.
1:38 away from a title and a date in Red Deer at the Memorial Cup. Bear, what a sensational postseason. Answer chips away at it. Paperny, who's made some key saves here in the 3rd, again stops it. Net empty one more time. Barzell. Cross ice. Bear in front. Just out of the reach of Groff. And out it comes. The Wheat Kings, first overall in the Eastern Conference. Smith. True shoots it in. Smith, backhand, side of the net, Barzell. And it's Paperny who takes care of it.
That's a pretty good bounce back game, if I might say, for Jordan Paperny as well. Got game 4 Wednesday, faced 31 shots, made 25 saves. Ouch, .806 save percentage. And as we said before, the first Wheat King and only Wheat King goalie ever taken in round 1. I'm sure they had this in mind when they drafted that kid out of Bantam that he can lead them to a championship, and here he is, 45.9 seconds away.
Well, he is from Edmonton, so his family and friends don't have far to go to Red Deer. Barzell, will he be back as a 19-year-old? Will he make the New York Islanders? Paperny kicks it behind the net as time winds down on the 50th season in Western Hockey League history. Stelio Mateos, and there's his first of this championship affair. And the party's on, you can bet, in Manitoba.
Yeah, his Brandon Wheat King team would have loved to win this championship series in front of those absolutely phenomenal fans in Brandon. And you know, I've been going in there about 15 years, Peter, and I don't think I've ever seen a Brandon crowd as energized and have as much fun in the games following this team. They would have loved to win it there, but they were going to take that chance. They're going to win it on the road. It's the third time they won the WHL championship. Look at the reaction on the bench. You got jumping, you got hugging, you got everybody happy. But they get it done for the third time, and third time on U.S. soil, folks. Spokane, Portland, Seattle.
Last time in 1996, they did it in Game 5 with a 3-0 victory over the Chiefs. Brandon Junior hockey fans, you've waited 2 decades for this. In the league's 50th anniversary, your Wheat Kings are the champions. As the extra players all dressed, skate out. And Landon Bowe, young man, what an addition you were to this Seattle team.
Yeah, he's a 20-year-old, and you feel for those 20s, don't you?
Jared Smith left everything out there. Jace Howerluck, what a closing act. 3 goals, 2 assists. And there's the architect. One is a player, one is a general manager, and now behind the bench in his 80th postseason win as they salute their fans here in Kent, Washington.
Peter, I've said this a couple times. Kelly McCrimmon had an opportunity to join Toronto in the National Hockey League. Not sure exactly what capacity it was going to be, but he must have had a lot of things weighing on his mind. And after losing 4 straight against Kelowna, he felt, that guy there, Kelly McCrimmon, felt that the team coming back was going to be good enough to win the championship. They've done that. Stu, what do you got?
Here's Stu Walters with the captain.
Yeah, thanks very much, Peter. McCoy Aircamp's with me here. And McCoy, first of all, how does it feel to be WHL champions?
I don't know. There's really no words to describe it. I mean, coming as a 16-year-old, you never really dream of this. I knew we had a good group of guys. I mean, we did it, so pretty happy right now.
Would you have imagined a roller coaster game like that one, especially the second period that we saw?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, they came out real hard. They're a really good team. They pushed us to our limits. We played our best hockey against them. Got to give them credit. Yeah, our boys came out hard, and so happy right now. Can't explain it.
How many heart and soul players on your team?
I can't even. Every single guy on that team is a heart and soul guy. We have so many characters. Yeah, I don't really know what to say right now. Yeah, all the guys on that team. There's no other team like it. I've never been on another team like that.
All right, McCoy. Congratulations. I'll let you get in for the handshake. We'll go back upstairs.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Stu. Kelly McCrimmon in the last couple of days when asked about McCoy Aircamps, who remember came over a couple of years ago in a trade from the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Now, in Brandon history, there have not been a lot of captains that didn't start in Brandon and carry out their entire junior careers. But he's one of them. And Kelly McCrimmon has just raved about the job that he has done.
Well, you know the thing about McCoy Erkamps, he's one of those guys on that defense that's always so active. And what I mean by that whole Brandon defensive core, they're supporting the rush or they're engaging in defensive battles. And Provorov and him were what a pairing.
71 points as they shake hands, Tucker Golder. Ivan Provorov, the Western Hockey League's top defenseman, who showed off what an elite defender he was in this series. Landon Bowe, brilliant since being acquired at the deadline from Swift Current.
That's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. They had a battle. They had a terrific confrontation much of the series. Look at Harlech. My goodness, Dale Tellin, you got a good player for Florida.
3 goals and 2 assists for Jace Hawryluk in this series clincher. And now he and his mates will celebrate, and we'll go back down to Stu.
Yeah, thanks very much, Peter. With Nolan Patrick scored the game-winning goal to make it 5-4 early in the third. Nolan, first of all, I'll just ask you what it feels like to be a WHL champion.
It's unbelievable, coming this far last year and losing to Kelowna. Our whole team wanted to get back to this point this year, and coming back here and winning with a lot of the same guys from last year. It's an unbelievable feeling.
How about the roller coaster of this game and the fact you guys give up 3 in the second period and are down 4-3 at one point? Talk about your resiliency in this team.
Yeah, it was huge. A lot of the guys stayed positive on the bench. Didn't put our heads down or anything, and we just kept pushing. But props to Seattle. They're a great team too. So it was a great series.
Can you just speak to the overall play of your goaltender Jordan Paperny as well throughout this series?
He was unbelievable. He stole us many games throughout the playoffs. He's been our best player all playoffs. I think some of the games where his numbers weren't great, we weren't playing in front of him, and he was still battling in there. So he was huge for us every night.
What does it mean to be representing the WHL at the Memorial Cup here in Red Deer?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's what we've been working for all year, and we're really excited to get back to Red Deer.
Congratulations, Nolan. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back upstairs.
It all started for Nolan Patrick as a 16-year-old, 30 goals last year. Only 3 30-goal 16-year-olds in the last 20 years, Peter. He was one of them. Now as a 17-year-old, look what he's done this year. Can you only imagine what's going to happen next year if he's back in junior? Well, he will be. Obviously, it's his draft year.
Wins the scoring race. It's not 100% official with those 30 points. Hawryluk pushed him to the brink. Ends up with 5 and 29. But Patrick in the clincher as Seattle makes their way off the ice. And we will turn it over now to the public address announcer here in Kent, Washington, as the playoff MVP will be named. And you know what the Wheat Kings can't wait for, to hoist the Edgerton Out Cup.
2016 Western Hockey League Championship Series.
Really nice contingent of fans sticking around, too.
Please welcome the following dignitaries who will be participating in tonight's closing ceremonies. Representing the Western Hockey League, WHL Commissioner Mr. Ron Robinson, and WHL Vice President of Hockey Operations, Mr. Richard Dirksen.
Nolan Patrick's dad, Steve, was on the first Brandon Wheat Kings championship team in '79.
Western Hockey League Playoffs Most Valuable Player Award to be presented by WHL Vice President of Hockey Operations, Mr. Richard Dirksen.
Got a lot of guys.
The WHL Playoffs Most Valuable Player Award is presented to the individual judge to be the most outstanding player during all 4 rounds of the 2016 WHL Playoffs. The Most Valuable Player Award for the 2016 WHL player is Nolan Patrick of the Brandon Wheat Kings.
The 17-year-old from Winnipeg, Bill, at this point, has to be the favorite to be the #1 overall pick in next year's National Hockey League draft. Has a late birthday, so he'll be back for our delight in the Western Hockey League. He is a superstar in this league, and I will not be surprised if it doesn't continue at the highest level.
Presentation of the WHL Championship Series commemorative plaques.
Showed me everything. Oh, separation, shot,
WHL Commissioner Mr. Ron Robinson, and WHL
reach.
Vice President of Hockey Operations,
got it all.
Mr. Richard
Skates.
Dirksen, will now present the WHL champions, the Brandon Wheat Kings, alternate captains Tim McCauley, John Quinville, and Patrick Nolan, with WHL Championship Series plaques.
Got to get it right, folks.
The
Not
plaques
Patrick Nolan.
will be presented to all members of the Wheat Kings after the game
It is clearly
to commemorate
Nolan
their WHL championship.
And if you don't know the name yet, you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kent Police Department, represented by John Waldo and Steve Holt, will now bring the Ed Chenault Cup trophy to center ice for the presentation
the Ed
of
Chenault
the WHL
Cup
Championship Series trophy.
in the 50th anniversary of this
The
great
Western
league.
Hockey League Championship trophy, the Ed Chenault Cup, is named in honor of past WHL President Mr. Ed Chenault.
Man, there's
Mr.
some great
Chenault,
teams that won
who
that.
also served as president of the Canadian Hockey League, was the driving
We've
force
had
in
so
the
many of them on
development
Shaw.
of major junior hockey for over 4 decades prior to his passing in 2008. Mr. Chenault was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in the Builder category in 2009. And now for the presentation of the Ed Chenault Cup, presented annually to the WHL champions. Western Hockey League Commissioner, Mr. Ron Robinson, will now present the Ed Chenault Cup to the captain of the Brandon Wheat Kings, McCoy Erkamps.
There you have it. For the third time in team history, they hoist the Western Hockey League Championship trophy, named in honor of one of the great leaders of all time in junior hockey, not only in this league, but our entire country. Ed Chenault, the Ed Chenault Cup. There's McCoy Erkamps, the first to skate around with it. He hands it off to Tim McCauley, who had a wonderful postseason and made such a fabulous play on the tying goal tonight to Jace Howerluck with 1:13 to go in period number 2 to tie the game at 4.
You know, Peter, we talk about big goals that guys remember. I can assure you, Tim McCauley will say that might be the biggest pass he's made in his career, because it wasn't looking really good at that point in period number 2, and he finds Howerluck with a beautiful, beautiful back pass into the open-ended goals, and they were tied after 40 minutes, and that set the stage for everything we saw here in the third period, which led to this win.
There's the man of this hour, Jace Howerluck. 3 goals and 2 assists, a 5-point game, and was about an inch away from getting a stick on the puck that ended up in Nolan Patrick's game winner early in the third. Reed Duke, who they acquired in the same trade that sent Erkamps from Lethbridge. What a night for number 8, and he's with Stu.
Thanks very much, Peter. With Jace Howerluck, the man of the hour, as you mentioned, Peter. 3 goals, the hat trick tonight. Jace, what does it mean to be a WHL champion?
I can't really put that into words right now. I mean, we've been through so much with so many of these guys. I mean, we've been here for 4 years trying to work towards this, and finally it's here. And I couldn't be more proud of the group of guys we have here. And we've been through a lot this year, and we've battled all year long to get to this point, and we're going to enjoy it, but we still got work to go, and we know what the end goal is, and we're not going to lose sight of that, but we're going to enjoy the moment for sure.
How much did this roller coaster game take out of you and your teammates?
I can't even talk anymore. I can't even scream. I'm going to throw up if I do anymore. I mean, I'm gassed.
He's so real.
It's been a hell of a ride.
Was one of the turning points in this one your goal late in the second to make it 4-4, and how about the play by Tim McGauley there?
Yeah, Tim's an unbelievable player. He sees the ice so well, and for him to make a move like that and then finally backdoor is just, not many guys can do that in this league, and he's a big part of me scoring that goal to get the guys going a little bit. And it was a team effort tonight. We knew it was going to be a hard game. It wasn't going to be easy to win a championship, especially in the last game. They weren't going to go away easy, and they gave us all we could handle, and I thought we fought back hard tonight.
I've asked a couple of your teammates, but just how many heart and soul guys are on this team?
Every single one of us.
What does it feel to be representing the WHL at the Memorial Cup in Red Deer next week?
Obviously, it's a big honor, and we're going to try and make the WHL proud and take home that Memorial Cup, but a lot of work ahead. And it's not going to come easy. It's going to be a battle, but we know what we have here, and we know we got it what it takes, and it's just a matter of leaving all out there come next weekend.
Do you have any words or thoughts for your opponents, the Seattle Thunderbirds, and the series that they had?
They gave us all we could handle. They're a hell of a team, and they battled all series, and it wasn't easy to win this. It didn't happen overnight. We had to give them everything we had, and I'd also like to just say some kind words to my grandma back home, and my grandpa would be so proud of me, and I won this one for him, and this is for him tonight, and I know he'd be proud.
Yeah, they are proud. Trust me, Chase. Thanks for this, and well done.
Thanks.
Let's head back upstairs.
John Quenville, when he was 16 years old, he played for Brandon. The team was in last place. He gets to be 18. They go to the Western Hockey League final. And they lose to Kelowna. Now as a 19-year-old, they win it. And, boy, that progression for that guy right there, you can see the emotion, no doubt about that. He went from a third-round Bantam pick to a first-round National Hockey League draft by New Jersey, and now he's a WHL champion.
What a closing act.
Okay, I'll get on this side.
He has a big goal. Quenville is 16th. There's her. Isn't that awesome? Number one Camps fan. The captain, what a smile. And Kelly McCrimmon, as he hands it off to one of the assistants, Darren Ritchie, who is a terrific player for the Wheat Kings in his day, old number 15. David Anning now. See Wade Klippenstein on the ice as well, the director of player personnel. Of course, the wonderful people, athletic therapist Joel Ginther and equipment manager Scott Milady. The Brandon Wheat Kings, for the third time in team history, are the champions of the Western Hockey League. And Bill, again, now that it's come to a conclusion, how do we ever forget not only how it ends, but more importantly how it begins, with 3 consecutive Brandon 3-2 overtime triumphs.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously set the stage. I thought they made their breaks, no doubt about that. You go back to game 1, they had 10 shots in that in that overtime before they scored. But, we also talked about the fact that they came back strong after a couple stinkers. That one in Moose Jaw, we talked about it in our open when they lost big, came back and won. They did it also against Red Deer, and go back to just Wednesday night. That was a 6-1 Seattle win, and the group that you see right there responded solidly tonight with a big win.
Picture of a lifetime. In the Western Hockey League's 50th anniversary season, the Brandon Wheat Kings are the champions, their first title since 1996.
Peter, I can only imagine 5,500 fans in Brandon, in the arena, a white uniform instead of the road uniforms. They'd be absolutely delirious.
There'd be a lot of fans there pretty delirious right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
It'll be a happy and long night among their supporters in their 8th ever trip to the championship series. Let's also not forget, they were in this same situation 1 year ago, swept by the then league champion Kelowna Rockets in 4 straight. We've talked a few times about experience. 14 of those players on the ice right now in that picture participated and felt what it was like not to win, to get so close, Bill. And I'm always a believer, sometimes, you got to knock on that door before you take care of business. And they took care of business. And it wasn't easy. Credit to Steve Konowalchuk, Russ Farwell, the architect of the Thunderbirds. A fabulous run down the stretch, winning the Western Conference in 13 games. But this Wheat King team, so deep, so experienced, and in the end, for the Thunderbirds, too much. As once again, here's Stu.
Yes, thanks very much, Peter, with John Quenneville, who opened the scoring with his 16th of the season for the Wheat Kings. And John, the obvious question here, how does it feel to be a WHL champion?
It's unbelievable. I don't know, it's been such an incredible season, and I'm overwhelmed. This is unbelievable. I'm so happy we've made it so far, and our guys deserve this, and we're going to enjoy it.
Can you describe the game to us and all the crazy turns?
It was another crazy game, just like the whole playoffs been. We were up, and then we were down, and back to the group that we are, a resilient group, never quits, and our true colors showed tonight, and just so proud to be a Wheat King.
And what about the response? What was the mood in the room before this one, especially after the performance in Game 4?
You know what? We've had a couple bad games throughout the playoffs, but every time we managed to bring our A game the next night, and tonight's a prime example of that. We came to play, and obviously hard work pays off, and here we are.
Is this the best team you've been a part of, and why?
It is. I mean, we're champions. Last year we had a great run, but this is icing on the cake. We finished off this year, and it's an incredible feeling.
Looking forward to representing the WHL at the Memorial Cup next week in Red Deer.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to enjoy this, but we're going to get back to work, and excited to head to Red Deer.
Congratulations, John. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Guys.
His brothers, Peter Quenneville, and...
You're reading my mind, David.
David.
Here to see all the games.
Here to see all the games. David had a sensational year in Medicine Hat. He represented Canada at the recently played World Under-18 Hockey Championship. His brother Peter was the captain of last year's team. Told me yesterday that his older brother is his best friend and hadn't seen him before this series in 8 months. So special times for the family. And Bill, before we turn it over, what a pleasure it has been to work with you. I know you've done such a great job in this chair, in this final for many years. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody. It's been such an honor and a privilege to be in this seat. I've watched this league since I was a little boy, and with the way things in my world have been the last couple of months, to everybody at Shaw, our great crew, Grant Wilkins, Dave Roberts, everybody, what an honor. And it has been fabulous to be a part of. We're going to throw it to break and be back with more post-game festivities here, where the Brandon Wheat Kings are the champions of the Western Hockey League.
The Saskatchewan Indian Gaming Authority operates 6 First Nations casinos in Saskatchewan. For more information, visit siga.sk.ca.
Hey, Tyler. What's up? You need to talk?
Yeah, I really do.
Well, come on in. What's going on?
I think WHL is the best way to achieve your goal, and that's playing the NHL, and it is the top league in the world, and you get to play against the best players for your age group and really develop into a man and a player quicker than most kids do. For me, I chose WHL, which was the best decision I could have made.
Distance gained. No walls to separate us and our home. Drawn deeper by the presence of no one and the essence of everything. Mother Nature's timeless masterpieces, stretching past the sky and the edge of the world, calling us to explore supernatural British Columbia.
1979 in 6 over Portland, 1996 over Spokane in 5, and now in 2016, the Brandon Wheat Kings are Western Hockey League champions in the 50th season of the WHL, season 49 for the Wheat Kings. They weren't a part of the original Western Canadian Hockey League. They came in the following year, one of the oldest teams to win the 50th championship of the Western Hockey League, and they get it done tonight in another doozy here in Kent, Washington, a 6-4 decision. Nolan Patrick, big game performances for him. That was his 4th game-winning goal of the postseason. His 30 points were tops, and he's the playoff MVP for 2016 for the Brandon Wheat Kings. But, boy, what a game. But then Brandon took over in the third period, and that line, Tyler Coulter, who had scored in the second period, and then Jace Haralick as well with big. We'll talk about that in a bit. But first, let's go down to ice level. And Stu Walters with Jordan Paperny.
Yes, thanks very much, Andy. And Jordan, I'll just start by asking you how it feels to be a WHL champion here tonight.
Unbelievable. Obviously something you aspired to do when you drafted to the Western Hockey League, and it's an unbelievable experience. I love all these guys, and just an unbelievable team and unbelievable character. I'm just so excited right now.
How did it feel to be back there, especially tonight as this thriller played out? A lot of twists and turns.
Yeah, it was very up and down, and I thought our group did an awesome job at just staying composed, and came out in the third period and left it all out there, and got the result we wanted, obviously.
What about the response perhaps from Game 4, the resiliency here after giving up 3 in that second period to go down 4-3? Why are you not surprised with this group?
Well, just, our character, like I said, is unbelievable, and something we've been doing all playoffs is just, having really good bounce-back games and, not losing 2 in a row. And that was our mindset coming in here, just, having an awesome game and leave it all out there.
You talk about some of your standout defensemen. I know they're all standout, but, Wheaton, Provorov, etc.
Yeah, every one of those guys does an awesome job, Provi, obviously, one of the best players in the league, and Urkamp's our captain. Can't say enough about him. Wheatsy blocking tons of shots for me back there. He's unbelievable, and just all those guys. Shearsy and JT there back. A little bit of a support role, and they're just awesome, cheering the boys on. And Klager, awesome young guy. So the D-core was unbelievable this whole playoffs.
Any thoughts or words for your opponents and what they threw at you this series, the Seattle Thunderbirds?
Obviously, the 3 games were all overtime, 3-2, so could have gone either way. They gave us a really good games, and obviously they had a good game in Game 4. And, it came down to a third period tonight, and, obviously I think our experience was kind of led the way.
Jordan, thanks for your time, and good luck the rest of the way at the Memorial Cup.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, back upstairs.
Thanks very much, Stu, and big congrats to Jordan Paperny, who was the last pick of the first round of the 2011 Bantam Draft. And when Brandon went ahead 6-4 in the third period, he made some big saves to keep it that way, considering how the 2-goal lead lasted in the second period.
He certainly did. As good as and as much as we rant and rave about Landon Bow, let's give Paperny a ton of credit, because he made some game-saving saves. He was excellent, and I really think that really boosted the confidence of himself and his team around him. He's had, it seems like every series he had one game where he may have slipped, and this series he didn't. And tonight he was excellent and really a big part of the reason they get the win.
A lot of people talk about goaltending when it comes to the MasterCard Memorial Cup. I think his confidence seems to be at an all-time high, getting set for Red Deer in that first game a week from tomorrow.
Well, absolutely, it should be. And you want to go into that tournament playing your best hockey. And this is a team that, you might get average goaltending and they are still good enough to win, but they got excellent goaltending and the team was excellent as well. So, I think that Paperny and his entire team has got to be feeling unbelievably confident, not only just winning, but also the way they won, the way they played, and the way their goaltender played.
So Brandon will face Ruin Noranda, the Huskies, in the first game on Saturday, the Friday night game, Red Deer against London. Downstairs we go. Stu Walters again. Stu?
Thank you very much, Andy. With Wheat Kings head coach Kelly McCrimmon. And Kelly, how proud of you are you of this group tonight?
Well, I really am. It was a hard series. Seattle played us really tough, and this is our goal from the start of the year. We wanted to get to the league final, to get back to the league final. We wanted to take the next step. So give our guys so much credit. Extremely proud of them, and really happy for them. They deserve this. They worked hard all year and got better all year, and deserve to be standing here tonight.
Kelly, how about the twists and turns in this game here and the way your team stuck with it?
Well, it was a really interesting game, and I liked the first period a lot. I thought we were ready to play much better than we were in Game 4, and responded exactly as I was hoping that we would. The second period just ended up being a real different period for us. We had 3 penalties in the first 10 minutes. They scored a power play goal. They went ahead, and then a big goal by Howerluck from Magali there late in the second period to get us back 4-4 going into the break. And then the third period, I thought our guys really played well to build the 5-4, then the 6-4 lead before the 2 empty net goals.
Kelly, it seems like you do have so many heart and soul players. If you allow me to single out one in Howerluck there, and how big he was for you in this series and tonight.
Well, he was tremendous, and he's a tireless worker, and that's contagious with your team. And tonight he scored the 4th, 5th, and 7th goals. So this is a guy that was having a little bit of trouble getting on the scoreboard. He got an overtime winner. He got a late goal in Game 4, 3 more tonight, and that's how he is. He's a streaky scorer. When he gets hot, he can really put the puck in it. I love the fact that he was shooting, and that was something that we talked to him about. Your 47-goal scorer, shoot the puck, because he'd gotten away from that a bit. But again, I just answered some questions prior. There's so much more to his game than just the goals and the assists, right? He just physical. He works hard, and really, I think adds so much to our team.
How about the resolve after Game 4 and even the response tonight after giving up the 3 in that second period? Why not surprised by your team here?
Well, we've been pretty resilient. We've talked about this over the course of the playoffs. And the one thing we've done, we've had some games in the playoffs where we weren't our best. They have 2 a game been followed by our best game. And again tonight, I thought this was our best game of the series. I thought, we always say when you're ready to play, and you do hit some adversity over the course of a night, you push through it. And tonight, we were ready to get through the second period. It didn't go as well as we wanted, but it didn't faze us. We just stuck with it, and were able to take it away in the third period.
How much are you going to be able to enjoy this before you have to start preparing for next week's Memorial Cup, Kelly? Well,
we got to travel late tomorrow, which guys will enjoy based on going home with no Game 6 to prepare for, and the weekend, and then we'll get back to business on Monday. This is similar in terms of time off to what we've had with our other series. We won our last 2 series in 5 games, so we've got a routine that we'll stick to and get prepared for the Cup. I want to say our fans, I'm really happy for our fans. They are part of the reason that we're standing here today. Their support, not only in this series but throughout the playoffs, and in particular to games 1 and 2 of this series, they helped us build a 2-0 lead. We're looking forward to getting home and seeing them, and then just also personally the honor for me to win the trophy with Ed Chenault's name on it, with the respect that and friendship that I had with Ed for many years, and of course the friendship that I have with both Jeff and Dean, his sons, and it's a great honor for our organization to win the trophy with his name on. And then just again the people that you're happy for, my family, my wife Terry, my daughter Chelsea, my son Mickey, my parents, all those people, that's what makes it special.
And absolutely very proud in Manitoba tonight. Your barn was absolutely crazy. How about this barn, and maybe a few words for your opponents who gave you a decent series here?
Well, they gave us more than a decent series. It was a very hard series. It was a battle, and we felt that in Game 4 we weren't ready to play hard enough. That's how you have to play to compete with Seattle. Tonight we were the first 3 games that we were, but no, it's a great atmosphere in here. It's loud. I think it affected us a little bit in the second period. Fortunately, I think we've got a pretty even-keeled group. We were able to get it back, but they're a great team. They had won 28 of 30 games coming into the conference final. They had won the Western Conference Championship in 1 game over the minimum required. So full due to the job that Russ Farwell and Steve Konowalchuk have done with their team here. They were tremendous opponent for us.
Thanks very much, Kelly, and congratulations.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Let's head upstairs at Andy Neal.
All right, thanks very much, Stu. And you know what's neat is the man that'll be driving them up to Abbotsford before they hit the charter plane to Brandon is Ralph Posterero. I know him because he was the bus driver for the Prince George Cougars, and I was surprised when I looked outside the plane and there was a PG Cougars bus waiting for us, and he drove the Brandon Wheat Kings down. And he told me before Game 4, Kelly told him, we need to get you a Wheat Kings shirt. So they got him the shirt, so he's got that, and then they were demanding on the ice for him to join them in the team photo. It's not always the team with the best players that wins, but the players with the best team, and Brandon certainly seemed to have that going for them in this series and in the season.
Well, it's just another one of the little details that tells you about what a class organization that is for them to get him into the team picture, and even just hearing Kelly McCrimmon talk, I mean, he's a class act, and what a heck of a coach. He did such a great job preparing his team, and like he said, rebounding after the Game 4 subpar performance in his mind. And we watched practice yesterday and the details that they went over, and we saw the way that they cycled the puck here late in the third with 6 minutes to go. They were working on that. They were working on getting out of their zone, and just such attention to detail. What a great leader, great coach, and couldn't be happy for a great man.
You know, Mitch Wheaton was on a champion last year, but he didn't play in the 4 games for Kelowna when they knocked off the Wheat Kings in 2015. He sure had a big role in 2016 for Brandon this year. He's standing by with Stu Walters. Stu.
Yes, thanks very much, Andy, a WHL champion for the second straight year. And Mitch, how does this one feel tonight?
Unbelievable. Words can't describe it. I think I've blacked out this whole time. I don't really remember too much, but you can't describe the feeling of winning, and having the ability to do it with a team like this is just unbelievable, and I can't be more thankful right now.
Can you describe what you went through and some of the emotions in this roller coaster game this evening?
Yeah, it was a crazy game. We went up by a couple in there in the second, and then they just went bang, bang. It was a tie game, and we just went into the room and we knew that we just had to stick to it and trust our systems and just believe in each other, and we went out there and did it.
Mitch, is this a little extra satisfying just because of everything you've gone through? We don't have to go through details, but I know shoulder issues, etc., and just what you've been able to come back for. How satisfying is this here to reach the pinnacle again?
Yeah, like I said, I can't even describe it. I've been through a lot, and it's been a roller coaster year, especially this year, and just to have the ability, I want to thank Kelly McCrimmon for sure giving me a chance to come here and give me the opportunity to play here, and it's been a year I'll never forget, and I'm very thankful.
What does make this team special? I know you were on a special team last year. What makes this one special?
I think just the close group of guys. We're always there for each other, and that's something that we'll never, ever give up.
Look forward to representing the WHL in the Memorial Cup next week in Red Deer. And can you enjoy this for a couple of days quickly?
Yeah, we'll enjoy this for a couple of days, and then we'll got to turn the page quick and get ready. It's a very good tournament coming up, and we're really excited.
Mitch, congrats and well-deserved.
Thank you very much.
All right, Andy, back up to you.
All right, thanks very much, Stu. Congrats to Mitch Wheaton as well. Didn't finish on the thought on that line. Patrick, Haralick, and Coulter and the dominance and how they can just take over a game.
Well, you look at the fourth goal for Brandon with a minute and 15, I think it was, left in the second period. Haralick, and then he gets the fifth goal to go ahead. The competitiveness in him and how many different things that he brings for his team is unbelievable. 3 goals, 2 assists tonight. I think he had a big part of it. And that line with Patrick, he got a goal and an assist, and they led the way in the playoffs with points. So what can't you say about them? They just do it all.
Another PG connection is Wade Klippenstein, who was their former assistant GM with the Cougars and director of player personnel. He's now the director of scouting for the Brandon Wheat Kings, and memory serves, his first draft was 2014 and the first overall pick of Stelio Mattheos, and in 2013 they missed the postseason with 24 wins. That was the year they got Nolan Patrick, Cale Clegg, Tanner Kaspick was a second-round draft pick as well. You think about the scouts and those people behind the scenes that have so much to do with building a champion, and it sure paid off here in 2016.
It paid off here in 2016, and it's going to pay off for quite a few more years. I mean, we talked about those 4 guys, 16 and Mattheos, and the 17-year-olds and Kaspick, Clegg, and Patrick, and those guys combined for over 60 points in the playoffs, and they have got solid impact on their games now and will have for the years to come. They're really well represented with their veteran players, but their young guys are no dip, that's for sure.
Well, what about Seattle? I mean, this was quite a run for them. They won 12 of 13 going into this championship. Think about how different this series could be had they won one of those overtime games in the first 3 of this series. But Seattle's a team, when we were coming here to Kent, we were looking at their roster. There's a lot of players that are coming back, and this is a team that we could get used to deep in the playoffs next year.
Absolutely. I mean, the big hole will be Landon Bowe. He's a 20-year-old, and he did such a huge job for them, but they've got a lot of other pieces that are really going to benefit from the experience that they had here in the postseason. Barzell, will he play with the New York Islanders next year as a 19-year-old, or will he be back? That'll be big for them, but Ryan Gropp, and on and on. They've got lots left in the cupboard, and they've going to, I think that they'll have a lot of success from the valuable experience that they got here going to the league. league championship.
Kevin, we always appreciate your company and your insight. It was great to have you on once again, my friend. This has been quite a slice and awful fun again to do it with you here in 2016.
Thanks for having me. Love being here.
All right. Well, the Brandon Wheat Kings, the champions of the Western Hockey League in the 50th season of the WHL, their third title, their first since 1996, and they won that year after losing the championship in 1995. 20 years later, they were able to pull the trick once again after losing to Kelowna last year, and now a 5-game winner over the Seattle Thunderbirds in the WHL championship. Landon Bowe, terrific. Jordan Paperny, strong again tonight, although 10 goals were scored until the 2 empty netters for Brandon to make it an 8-4 final in Game 5. They're off to Red Deer and the MasterCard Memorial Cup. Their first game will be next Saturday against Rouyn-Noranda, the QMJHL champions. The Red Deer Rebels will square off with the London Knights in the first game on Friday, May 20th of the MasterCard Memorial Cup, the first time in Alberta since 1974. It's so great to have Peter Labardius with us and all that he's gone through. I know it was a thrill for him to be a part of the crew and everybody a part of the broadcast. Well done. It was a superb championship that lasted 5 games. Brandon are the champs. Peter Labardius, Bill Wilms, Stu Walters, Kevin Sawyer, and the crew. I'm Andy Neal. So long from Kent, Washington.